means, but if you are outside, you can simply help me out and just interpret the name. Okay, I guess nobody's outside here. You're welcome once again to the Nextgen Business Summit. The aim of today's meeting is to ensure that we're empowered with biblical principles to making wealth. Now, you may think to yourself that, is money important to a Christian? Let me first ask that question. It is, right? Yes. Whatever it is that we want to do. There's something my mother told me when I was growing up. She asked me a question. I think I was about 12 years old. And she said, Oluwaranti, is money everything? And I remember that I told her, no, it's not everything. But then she gave me this response that has never left me since then. She said, money is not everything, but it is almost everything. Right? It's a show of your economic strength. And we've been told a lie for many years that as a believer, you don't need money for anything. You can just, and that's why people would tend to say, be poor as a church rat. But that dynamic has been changing, and it will continue to change. And in our own generation, we'll have wealthy Christians who would build the kingdom of God. Amen. Praise the Lord. So, moving us forward today, I'd like to welcome the head of the Nextgen Business Summit of House of Wonders, Lekki. But right before she comes up, I just want to introduce you a bit to House of Wonders itself. So House of Wonders is the new generation arm of Christ Life Church, which was founded by Bishop Francis Walioke. We have different arms. We are present in Ibadan. We have an expression here in Lagos, Lekki. We have expressions in the UK and in Canada. And we aim to spread to every nook and cranny of the earth. So, welcome to our church and welcome to Nextgen. A round of applause, please, everybody. Thank you. Let's welcome Miss Fumi Ayinde.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for coming. You all look so radiant today. So, is anyone excited to be here? I want you guys to listen up. Listen up, guys. Listen up, guys. Listen up, guys. I know I said we'll have item 7, right? Somebody asked me in the group, who did? Can you identify yourself? Okay, you're shy. Or you're not here. It doesn't matter. Just wave. It's fine. Okay. Like I was earlier introduced, my name is Fumi Ayinde, and I'm the head of the Nextgen Business Summit. And I must say, it's a pleasure to welcome you to the second edition of this summit. I feel, it's amazing to see some familiar faces and some new ones, and I'm hoping to get to meet you personally myself, so we can have like some one-on-one relationship and see how, we can teach each other, learn from each other, and then mentor you to be successful entrepreneurs in the future. So this summit is proudly sponsored by Nextgen Business Summit, the business arm of House of Wonders. So I'm sure you all know that this is a church, and we are called House of Wonders, and we are proudly supported by 3 icons in the industry, which very soon you would meet the speakers, but I believe you've seen the flyers and you're excited about what they're about to share. I'm very sure that you'll be greatly, I don't want to use the word blessed because we're in church, but I'm very sure that there's some value that will be added to you before you leave here today. Our goal here, which I believe that Roti shared, is for us to build biblical principles to achieve godly wealth through business, both individually and corporately. So if you have a business or you work 9 to 5 with an organization. So at Nextgen, we firmly believe that prosperity is not about financial success. Who believes that with me? It's just not financial success. Oh, awesome, thank you. It's about spiritual fulfillment, ethical business practices. And I'm sure you know what that means, right? When you're ethical in business practices, you have integrity. There's excellence in what you're doing. So we're here to ensure that you build those sort of values in your business. And our anchor scripture, which I would ask that the please project is Deuteronomy 8:18b. We usually call it D 8:18 here. For it says, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, and he may establish his covenant, which he swore unto the Father, as it is today. And this verse reminds us that the ability to produce wealth comes from God and is rooted in value. And it's the value that we bring to the marketplace. And I will keep using the word, stressing the word value. So the first question I'll ask you is, do you know that value is a currency that drives success? Who knows that value is a currency that drives success? And I know some of us are students, awesome. You're students. For you to drive success in your academic, do you know what it is that you have that can make you an A flyer? Is value, is the value that you bring to the table, even in the workplace. And second question I'll ask is, how valuable are you? Are you valuable as a person? Do you have a valuable product or valuable service that you offer for those who have their own side businesses, or like you call it, side hustle? We don't call it hustle here because Christians don't hustle. So do you have your own side business? And how valuable is the product that you're offering or the service that you're offering? So as we dive today into today's session, I want to encourage you to open up your hearts, open up your minds. There'll be wisdom that will be shared here. Those are the wisdom that I expect that we will use to run when we get back to our individual places, be it in school, be it at work. I want you to open up your mind. I want you to be hungry. If you're hungry for something, if, like they say, when you're hungry to know the Lord, you're hungry for something, you will know the Lord. So if you're hungry to be successful, you put your best at it. But an ingredient for success, aside from hunger, is patience. Most of the time, even let me share a short story with you. So back in the days, when I was still a young chick, right now I'm old, a little older, I believe that I started off a business, a farm business, and I started off in Ibadan. I had a poultry, I had a pig pen, and I wasn't patient at the time, but there was that hunger for me to earn money, so I launched out. Because I wasn't patient, I didn't do well. I was expecting that as soon as I start, I would make money. I didn't think about the ups and downs or the difficulties. So do you know what I did? I decided that, it's not working in Ibadan. Let me go and buy another land in Ogun State. I did not learn my mistakes. I ran off to Ogun State to buy another land. I bought a land and decided that, you know what, I'm not going, this is not pig pen, this is core farming. I had my strategy, I had my business plan, branding, everything was on point. But guess what? I didn't do well as well because I did not learn from the last time that currency, one of the currencies that I need, aside from value, because I believe I had value that was adding to the industry. I didn't have patience. I lacked it in so many ways. I was so expectant that, as soon as I put the seed in the ground, please start to grow, start to grow, start to grow. I'm checking every minute, every time. And people are saying to me, young lady, why don't you just calm down? Even when, the fruit started to spring and started to grow, and I found out that, this particular crop is not doing so well here. I did not think plan B. I was very impatient. I just said, scrap it. But I then met someone at a summit like this who had the same challenge but had wisdom that I lacked because I didn't have patience and I refused to ask. What did he do? He decided to process some of the items and ship them, but I did not do that. I just said, scrap it. And I said, I'm tired. I'm not farming again, please. My 9 to 5 is okay for me. So my first investment in Ibadan, where I had my pig pen, is still there. My second investment in Ogun State is still lying fallow because I lacked a very important ingredient, which is patience. I did have value that I was going to offer the market, but I didn't have patience. So I want everyone here to learn something, no matter how little it might be. Glean on someone's wisdom, glean on any of the speakers, what they have to teach us. So with that being said, thank you so much for coming and enjoy today's program.
Thank you so much, Miss Fumi Ayinde. So let me just tell you a little secret. So she's not just Miss Fumi Ayinde, the 9 to 5 person, the farmer, but she's also a minister in our church as well. So yeah, another round of applause for her. Okay, so I'm super excited about our first speaker is going to be coming up very soon. And I'm super excited about her because I remember I stumbled on her page on Instagram and I was like, who is this woman? You know, she's a prolific speaker, excellent hostess, for lack of better words. And, you know, as we're getting ready to welcome her, we'll be playing a very short clip that just gives you a little bit of insight into who she is and what she does. Keep an open mind and get ready to be inspired. Get ready to learn and grow.
Mojibade Shosoya stands as a paragon of professionalism within the realm of corporate event hosting and public speaking. Renowned for a distinguished career as an event host, TV presenter, corporate communications executive, actor, and public speaker, Mojibade's commitment to excellence is unparalleled. Having earned the moniker the banker with a mic during her tenure in the banking sector, Mojibade brings a wealth of experience and expertise to her current endeavors. Her academic foundation, including a first degree from Covenant University and an MSc from the esteemed School of Media and Communications at Pan Atlantic University, Nigeria, underscores her dedication to continuous learning and mastery of her craft. Now recognized as the Lady MC with an MSc, Mojibade's professional journey has seen her serve as a compere for a diverse clientele encompassing private and public sectors, national and international corporations, and multinational entities. Her portfolio boasts a breadth of engagement across various industries, reflecting her versatility and adaptability to diverse audience, demographics, and event scopes. Mojibade's career milestones include prestigious assignments such as co-hosting the Lagos Presidential Banquet in honor of His Excellency, former President Muhammadu Buhari, and conducting insightful interviews with prominent figures, including former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, distinguished professional footballers Didier Drogba and Asamoah Gyan, CNN's esteemed correspondents Zain Asha and Dr. Nadim Khan of the International Association of Ultra Runners, amongst many others. Acknowledged by clients for unwavering commitment to excellence, consummate professionalism, astute intelligence, and poised demeanor, Mojibade Shosoya stands as a beacon of corporate finesse and mastery in her field. Please make welcome Mojibade Shosoya.
Good morning. I think the first thing I would say is, I'm not really sure if that's me. And no, I'm not forming, I promise you. You know that when you introduce speakers at events and they're like, oh, was that me? I'm like, please, you're just forming. But actually, I'm wondering, was that really me? Thank you so much for the great work. All I did was send my bio, and they transformed it into this masterpiece. So thank you so much. I'm truly honored. A round of applause for the organizers. So I'm going to start by introducing myself. I mean, you already know about me, but just to let you know my journey into public speaking and why they thought, I was qualified enough to be here to speak with you wonderful people. Mojibade Shosoya, and I always like to tell people what my name means because it's really powerful. Mojibade means I woke up into royalty. So I always say I'm a royal child, and it speaks for me. But I'm truly honored to be here to speak to everyone on public speaking. I don't know if my slides will come up, but if it doesn't come up, it's fine. I have it here. Public speaking, voice identification, mastering your message, leveraging your strengths, and the business of public speaking. My outline, I'll just run through it. I'll talk about what public speaking is. I'll talk about good and bad public speaking. I'll talk about the core components of effective public speaking. Then I'll break it down into 4 segments that have been shared with me, which is identifying your voice, mastering your message, leveraging your strengths, the business of public speaking, which I think is what most people really want to hear. Like, how can you convert all this talking into money? We'll talk about that. And then I'll give you examples of well-known public speakers, renowned speakers across the world, and we'll conclude. I think we can take questions when we're done. But I'm truly honored to be here to speak with everyone. Now, I started by describing or defining what public speaking is. Do I have any public speakers in the house? Like anyone who is a compere, apart from our compere, of course, but anyone at all, or who is interested in public speaking? Anybody? Okay, great. So I guess you're in good company. I define public speaking here as being about communicating information to an audience, whether you are giving a formal presentation, delivering a speech, or having an informal talk. The true essence of public speaking is to convey your message effectively and engagingly. Now, that's like, okay, dictionary definition. Let's talk about how public speaking is from conversation to the formal style. So imagine having a conversation with your friend, talking to your friend, trying to just share your experiences about, life, or your thoughts about a project you're working on, or an idea that came to you and you just want to share with your friend. But public speaking takes it a notch higher. It's a little more formal. You're discussing, but even when you're with your friend, imagine that you're talking with so much. Let's do it this way. Ladies in the house, have you ever gone on a date and you want to gist your friend about it? Do you know how animated you're like, oh my God, he's so fine. You're doing all the expressions and you're telling stories and you're like, man, he didn't even pay for the food, so annoyed. They're like, your face is matching the emotions you're feeling. And that's pretty much public speaking. Now, public speaking has its own rules and regulations, just like anything else in the world. Now, sometimes on social media, we have this battle of, this is not how we make jollof rice in Nigeria. This is not how we make afang soup in my own state. This is how we do it here. So those ingredients that you think, they're essentials for that food or that soup, is just the same way for public speaking. Everything has its elements. Anybody can be a public speaker, and I'll get into that very shortly. But let's move on quickly. Now, I talked about bad public speaking here. And I listed a few things, right? So I said lack of preparation and organization is not good for a public speaker. Failure to engage or connect with the audience is not good for a public speaker. Speaking monotone, quietly, or too long. I'm sure a lot of us have been to places where people just talk for too long and you're like, can you please wrap this up? We've gotten the message, it's enough. So there are rules to public speaking. Now, using jargon or overly complex language, I must admit, and because I have to be very vulnerable here, I've had a few times, that I remember when I first started out, and this was maybe as far back as Covenant University, where I had a horrible speaking session. I remember I was vice chairman Covenant University Student Council in my year of graduation, and they had invited some people to come speak to us. I can't remember where now, but there were some international body who came to school to speak to us, and then unpreparedly, they just called me, Vice Chairman Fimo, you need to come and give votes of thanks or say something to them. I was totally confused. I wasn't prepared. I didn't know anything about what to say. Stage fright came in. I went on stage. I remembered a few new words I had learned, and I just put everything together. I promise you, it did not come out right. It was terrible. I went back to because we had an office, so it was chapel area. I had an office there. I went back feeling so ashamed of myself. I'm not even joking. I was terrified. I was like, what did you just do? If you had even just gone up to say, thank you so much for coming, welcome to Covenant University, and I had left, maybe that would have been better than the rubbish I said on stage that day. I was so confident in that rubbish. It was total rubbish, just jammed English from here and there. It didn't make sense even to me. So I can't imagine how the people felt. But I did it with confidence. So, to be fair, in public speaking, you need confidence. So even if you're saying rubbish, you need a little bit of confidence to help you to poise and give it some steeze, right? You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I did that. So I didn't just grow to be this person who can face any audience or speak publicly very professionally. Right. Now, I also talked about using distracting body language or mannerism. Now, imagine I'm here and I'm doing, so guys, thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here. You're just like, girl, go and scratch your back at the back and come back up stage. You could be so distracting. So just like how we expect, okay, I'm Ijebu and we do Ikokore, and I see somebody doing it the wrong way, and I'm like, no, those are not the elements of Ikokore. The same way it is for when you're speaking publicly. There are certain things that must be checked, certain things that must be in place. And then I talked about how another element of bad public speaking is ignoring audience feedback. Now, no matter how well you have prepared a speech, if you lose your audience, you're not communicating. So imagine me speaking about something, and then there's a roar from the audience, and I'm just going on as if you guys don't exist. You exist, and that's why I'm speaking. So I must take your feedback, right? So it's very important to not ignore the audience feedback. They might even be trying to pass a message that, maybe your slide is up, or there's something happening behind you. You must take into cognizance everything happening, maybe not everything, but audience feedback pretty much is really important. Now, what do good public speakers do? They prepare thoroughly, and they know their audience. Anytime I have to host an event, I always ask my clients, what is your audience segmentation? Who are the people that will be in the audience? Where are they from? I research about them, so I know how to prepare my language. I know how to prepare my, appearance. I know how to appeal to them such that before I speak, they can already connect with me. And then when I speak, it shows that I have done my research. I teach my community on 3 R's, and 3 R's is you read, you research, and you rehearse. You read, you research, and you rehearse. You cannot A public speaker must be knowledgeable. Now, it's a bit more, when I say public speaker, and that's the professional part of it. If you are a career professional and you need to speak to your boss or make a presentation on behalf of your department, you're speaking publicly. And so even on that subject matter, so you don't think that, because she's a compere, a presenter, or she's an MC, she needs to research. I do need to research. So do you, whether you're presenting to a team of 5 people or a team of 1,000 people, whatever it is. People, sometimes when I co-host with my mentor, Ike Osakiodua, and we do some research, he's like, we won't add too much jargon and too much of the things that we don't know, because again, as a compere, I have to learn about several, so many sectors. Sometimes I'm a doctor, sometimes I'm a taxi, sometimes I'm an accountant. I work with all sectors. There's no sector I cannot learn about. Now, there are people in the audience who are attending who are probably more knowledgeable than you are. What you have done is research on that matter. They are experts in that field. So you need to be very careful. You can't just come to an education summit and be saying, there are 20 million out of children's schools in Nigeria. Who confirmed that to you? Where did you get the information? You need to be very sure. You can't just come out and roll out things that are incorrect. So as a public speaker, you must do your research. You must speak clearly and confidently. I talked about how confidence is very important. I know we're going to get to the business of public speaking, and I'll get to that very quickly. Now, you must make eye contact. I've made so much eye contact with you. I feel like I know you from somewhere, but I just met you today, and I'm loving it. You pick different people and fix your gaze on them. That's one way to overcome shyness. Sometimes I look at, when I first started out, when you're still shy and having all the jitters, you can look above people's head and feel like I'm not talking to anyone of you. I'm just looking at the clock at the back. But as you get more comfortable, and it helps you build confidence, because it feels like I'm gisting with her. I've been fixing my gaze on you and just communicating with you. It's a good strategy to help you, speak in public, right? Then I spoke on use storytelling. I told you about my bad experience. You remember now that I'm not all that perfect. I've had my own fair share of horrible public speaking. Make eye contact and engage with the audience. Use appropriate body language and gestures. Vary your tone, pitch, and volume. Now let's talk about how to identify your voice and why it's important to identify your voice. When you are identifying your voice, I watched a movie recently with my community. I have a community called Showstoppers. In case you follow me on Instagram, you probably know that. And we saw Fumilayo Ransom Kuti. When we were done watching that movie and we're analyzing the movie and just talking about experiences and lessons from the movie, somebody said, and I think it was so profound, that your face is needed. And I added to that your voice is needed, because Fumilayo Ransom Kuti's voice was definitely needed. So every one of us came to this world with a unique voice. And when I say voice, you might think, the pitch, the variation, or all that. But the voice encapsulates your message. Your voice is your message, and you must use it well. You must identify your voice. You must be very self-aware of who you are and what your assignment is. No 2 assignments are the same. Everyone, no matter how saturated the market is. When I was coming into public speaking, so I used to be a banker. I was a banker for about 6 years. When I was leaving to come do, media and communications full time, I was like, goodness gracious. There are people who have been doing this way before me. How do I find my voice or find my footing? But here I am, finding my voice and using my voice. So you must identify what your voice is, and I'm never going to try to be like somebody else. I tried it one time, and it flopped badly. I'll share that story very shortly. So I said you have to be very self-aware. When we talk about self-awareness, sometimes it feels like, oh, it's some magic. You wake up and God says, my dear daughter, now be aware of who you are. It's in the daily things that you do that you begin to discover what makes you tick, what excites you. What do you think, annoys? When I say annoy, what makes you restless, that you really want to fix it? That might be where your voice is needed to be heard. So you need to find your voice and find yourself. You must accept your cultural and linguistic diversity. When I was going to be a full-time, so I'd been doing this in banking from way back. But when I started to make this a professional job, I thought for a second that I would not be a good compere or a good public speaker because I didn't have an accent. Because what you hear on radio and TV is American plus British with a little bit of Italian. There's so many accents flying here and there. And I actually thought, I'm not making this up, I thought that I would be a very bad public speaker. But I told myself, no, you're going to use your own voice. I remember hosting an event. Goodness, I don't have time because I have to, but let me just move quickly. I hosted an event with a broadcaster, and I don't know if you hear these broadcasters. They have this sweet, silky, there's a way they weave their words and very fluent. I dare say that I'm a fluent speaker myself, and this guy was going on with so many accents, and I was like, hey, God, this guy, calm down. And then after the event, somebody walked up to me. Again, your audience, you don't know who is sitting in the audience. They're listening to you. They're watching you. So they're checking out your authenticity when you use your voice. And because I just speak the way I speak, I'm a Yoruba girl from Ijebu-Igbo in Ogun State. I'm not going to try to be American. I'm not American. I'm not British. But I will speak my English the way it is appropriate and eloquently. Someone walked up to me and is like, very well done. And he looked, you could tell that he was so impressed. I was like, okay. He was like, I like that you were not forming an accent. You're so eloquent. There I was feeling like, this my co-host has spoken all the English in this world. What really happens to me? And he was very impressed. And from there, I got another gig, and I've done 3 things with that particular company. All right. So in finding your voice, I've talked about how you must be self-aware. You must understand the uniqueness of your own voice, which I say is your message, right? You must build your confidence by embracing and accepting your authentic voice. I hosted an event one day, and I had watched someone who is also a good public speaker, and I didn't realize that I started to try to sound like that person. It's okay to watch other people and learn from other people, but it's not okay to lose your authentic self because you're trying to speak like somebody else. And during that event, somebody said, you sound a little nervous. And in my mind, I thought I was killing it. So I went backstage and I thought for a second, like, what's going on here? And then I realized that I was trying to sound like somebody else. So don't try to sound like anybody else. Try to sound like you, because no 2 voices are the same and no 2 messages are the same. No matter what it is, be your authentic self and enjoy being yourself. I'm going to move on very quickly to mastering your message. Now, how do you master your message? I talked about how your voice is linked with your message, and you must use your voice to, preach your message. And it's not a message about your pastor preaching. It's about the message, of inspiring people. That's what your voice is for, to inspire people, right? You must embrace storytelling. You must structure your message. I talked about how you have to read, research, and rehearse. Very important. You have to continue to develop yourself. Now, mastering your message, I put here, is a continuous process. You have to keep working on your craft, and you'll become a more effective and impactful public speaker. Nobody was born being an excellent speaker. Every excellent speaker you hear today learned some way, somehow, and they mastered their message and found their voices and became a true version of themselves. Talking about leveraging your strengths now, you have to identify your personal strengths. You have to reflect and think, what are the things I do well when I'm speaking? What are the things my friends say to me? Oh, that was really good. I like how you did that. You have to start picking feedback and hearing how people talk about your strength and your public speaking skills. You must build on that strength. We say that, I always tell people, when they say you have to be your greatest critic, in that same manner, Be your biggest cheerleader. Find out the things that you do well when you speak, the areas that you are very strong at, and build on those strengths to help you grow. You must commit to continuous learning. Life, they say that when you stop learning, you start dying, because life is ever evolving. New information comes out every other day. You have to be on top of information. You have to read, know something about everything. It's not ITK, it's not I to know. It's that you're trying to stay abreast of information that could help you and that will help you. And now, finally, to the most important part of it, the business of public speaking. I put it in 3 categories here: monetize public speaking, marketing yourself, professional development. Now, you must recognize opportunities. When I started hosting, I'm very happy that Fumi Ayinde talked about how she expected her seed to grow immediately she puts it in the ground. No, darling. It's not going to work that way. When I started speaking publicly and hosting events and being a presenter, I did not start earning immediately. In fact, I was doing it with so much joy, trying to let people know what I was capable of. Value attracts money. Value attracts money. And how do people know that you're valuable? You have to show it. You can't sit down, cross your legs, and expect that, they will smell it that I'm a valuable person. You have to show what you're capable of. No one will pay you for what they don't know you're capable of, and you have to put yourself out there to show that you're a capable person. I volunteered for so many free gigs. All this profile you see now, you don't just wake up and I got that profile. It's from free gigs here, just trying to show that I can do this. Let me do it. Let me show I remember begging people, I will host your events for free. Just allow me show what I'm capable of. And every time I hosted an event for free, when I package it and put it on social media, you won't believe it. You'll be like, let's calculate how much they've paid her, maybe about 2 million. It's a lie, it's free. I paid myself to that event to show that I'm capable of speaking publicly, and you have to trust me. And so I started to build trust, and then I got to this level. So you're going to, it's a process. Fumi already spoke on that. It's a process. You must trust the process, and you have to follow the process. I also talked about networking and leveraging the power of social media. Social media is so powerful. My first paying gig, I'd done so many free gigs. First paying gig was from social media. It was from a DM, random. Oh, we see you've done this and that. They did not say for free because I didn't say it was for free. I hosted this event with joy. It was an honor. You will package it well. Nobody will know. By the time they come for the money one, you will also then charge them. So when they asked me, I was like, oh my God, I have to charge. I was asking my friends, how do I charge? And then I started to charge, and then it became a professional, business for me. Then professional development. I go online and watch, YouTube videos, listen to professional speakers, renowned speakers across the world. I watch CNN, how things are delivered, how they string their words together, mannerisms, composure, everything, stees and rees. Just learn all those things and then be a good public speaker. I'm going to have to move really fast. I don't know that you can see, but can you see any of the screens? Okay, great. I said examples of well-known and good public speakers. I love listening to Chimamanda. Like, she's like butter and bread, like fresh bread I just brought from oven. It's just flowing. I really, really love listening to her. We have Nelson Mandela here, was a great speaker. Oprah Winfrey, great speaker. Barack Obama, very great speaker. Maya Angelou, great speaker. Martin Luther King Jr., great speaker. I have a dream. Do you remember that? It was my callback tune for the longest time. When people call me, I want you to be having a dream as you're calling me. As you hear, just down with your body, I have a dream. It was a passion. You couldn't see his face. If you have seen the video, great. But just hearing it, you could feel the emotions and the passions. Now, one person didn't make it to this slide, but she's on the next slide. What did I call her? I called her a global voice of impact. That's the vision. Now, I put this here because I want you to start to dream and put the vision down. The Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. What do you see yourself as? What are you calling yourself? I always tell my community, you're not what you're called. You're what you answer to. What do you see yourself as? I'm just a Lagos MC. No, I'm not too. I'm a global voice of impact. That's what I say to myself. So what are you saying and affirming yourself? Are you looking down on yourself like, oh, I'm such a shy person. I don't want people to see me. My darling, you better let it go. And not everybody will be MCs, compares, or presenters. But at different times, you have to market your brand. Whether you make wigs, if you make shoes, if you make bags, anything that you do, you have to speak to people about it. Opportunities will come to pitch your brand. When I say, I'm so shy, I can't do it. Darling, face the stage, speak about your brand, or even if it's anything you're marketing at all, make sure you do it confidently, and you have to believe that you are the value. Now, I concluded by saying that I would demystify a couple of public speaking myths. Now, There's natural talent versus learned skill. Many people believe that great public speakers are born, not made. However, the truth is, while some may have a natural aptitude for it, effective public speaking is a skill that anyone can learn and anyone can improve on. If I tell you that when I was younger, I used to stutter, will you believe me? Good. I didn't let that define me. I started to rehearse, practice my words, slow down my pace. I'll put my phone there, record, like, that was too fast. Slow down. Do it again, because I knew my eyes were on the goal. I was not letting my stuttering, hold me back. I'm like, I can be a good public speaker. When I was young, I used to watch Bimbo Loyede. She's my childhood hero, and I talk about it every time I get a chance to. I look at her, and I'm like, this woman is living that life I want to live. She was on NTA broadcast, very exceptional broadcaster. And then I talked about how fear of public speaking. Another common misconception is that the fear of public speaking is insurmountable. Very, very incorrect. I'm a very shy person, but it doesn't show. I'm actually very shy, but I want to be a public speaker. How do you marry both? It's not adding up. The math is not mathing, right? So I had to overcome that and know that when I'm working, it's business, and so you have to do it well. So you can, you can overcome that fear, and then with practice and the right strategies, anyone can overcome this fear and become a confident, excellent speaker. And finally, there is no perfect public speaker. There is no perfect public speaker. So if you feel like, these people are all so perfect, I'm not perfect. I'll make mistakes, but I'll learn from it because I'm not going to give up on myself. So you can't give up and say, oh no, God, they're so perfect, I cannot match up. My dear, if you keep thinking that, then that's what it's going to be. That's why I said, you're not what you're called, you're what you answer to. What are you saying about yourself, right? Public speaking is not about being perfect, but about being present and showing up. You have to keep showing up. I didn't let anything stop me. I always showed up. And finally, your voice is your most powerful tool. Use it to make a difference. What will your voice be remembered for? Thank you very much for having me. I would have loved to take questions, but I have to run.
Thank you. Everybody, a round of applause. Let's be on our feet and just appreciate that excellent speech. Is it possible to get your Instagram handle? Okay, okay, no hyphen, nothing. Okay, Mojibade Show. Just follow on Instagram. And if you have any questions, can we DM you with our questions? From How Lucky. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. So she had to leave. She has another engagement, and that's why she was not able to stay back and take all of our questions. So if you have questions, I'd like to suggest that if you could just go on Instagram right now and just follow our handle, Mojibade Show. And you can slide into her DM, let her know it's from Nextgen Summit, and she will gladly attend to your questions. So, how many of us enjoyed this last session? Did you learn something? Anybody? Okay, does somebody want to say one or two things that you picked? That, okay, for you, this is a defining moment. This is something you're never going to forget. Anybody? Do I have? Okay, I've got one person. Let me take one more person. Who else? Is there only one person that learned something they can't forget? Okay, let's start with the first person. Please come forward. Please come forward. Thank you. We are learning how not to be scared of public speaking. We're not afraid to face a large audience. Don't be intimidated. Please tell us your name. Oopsie. Please let's know your name and what you learned. Thank you. Please go ahead. Please come forward.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much to the organizers of this program. I think one of the things I would say I learned from coming to this session, the first session really, is that you can be a shy person and still be an excellent public speaker. I mean, he just brought a camera in front of me, so I was like, But you can be a shy person and be an excellent public speaker. And I think for me, that's what I struggle with, because I think I'm very shy and I'm very introverted, even though nobody believes me. But I don't like public speaking at all. But I've learned that someone has done it. I mean, we just have someone who stood here. And also, I feel like I stutter. And she said, she used to stutter when she was, younger, and then now she's developed herself. So I just realized that there has to be a lot of intentionality behind whatever you're doing. If you're intentional about it, intentional about improving yourself and growing, you can actually get to where you want to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause. One more person. Okay, please come forward.
Thank you very much. So one thing I learned was she said, read, research, rehearse, organize, and then prepare and then organize. So, and she also said something, practice your own techniques, right? So it shouldn't be someone else's, yours. So maybe you got so many things from so many persons, but you would have to come to a particular point whereby you would say, okay, this one works for me, this doesn't. So you practice that particular one that works for you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we are moving on to an exciting part. Let me just remind you again, if you have any questions, just go to our Instagram handle, Mojibade Show, SHOW. Slide into our DM. Let her know you're from our Lekki Nextgen Business Summit and drop your question, and she's committed to answering them. Yeah, so moving on, I'd like to invite... I'm throwing in a little bit of surprise. I'd like to invite somebody to join me on stage, and that is Rotimi. I like to call him Roro. Rotimi, please come forward. Please come forward. Just for a little bit of something fun for a few minutes.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Some people are not greeting me. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. All right. Are we happy to be here? Are we happy? Okay, so I feel like I want to become a public speaker now after listening to Moji. So I think I'll start. She said we should market ourselves, make sure people know about your brand. So I'm here to sell myself. Can I go on? Can I go on? All right, my name is Oluwarotimi Adeyoyin. I am a banker, a data analyst, an actor, a musician sometimes, and a public speaker. Please put your hands together for me. Thank you very much. So who is going to take over from me and also introduce him or herself? You have a business. Me, I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't know how to do business. You have a business, you just feel like marketing your business to us. This is your time. Nobody has a business here. You do? All right, thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for her. So you say your name and market yourself. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ikeoluwa Fashikbe. I'm an entrepreneur. I own a hair business, so to speak. It's called Julie Wiga. So if you go on Instagram, you see Julie Wiga Crochet. I have to move forward. You would not tell me. So I have to start from top? Okay, don't worry. I'll do it. I'm going to do it. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ikeoluwa Fashikbe. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a singer, but let me start with entrepreneur first. I run a business called Julie Wiga. Julie Wiga caters to extensions, wigs, braiding extensions, and things like that. I'm also a singer. I'm a minister. I'm an all-round creative. I'm a copywriter. I'm a content creator. I'm a video editor. It's a long list. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for her. Okay, we need 2 more people to come and introduce themselves too. Okay, I can see one hand here. Please come up. Thank you. Let's put our hands together for her. So your name, what you do, your business. Yeah. Yeah, Bob, please come to the front. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adedamola Onoshoga. I'm a fashion designer. I'm a fashion designer, so I make anything ladies wear, bridal, ashwebi, ready to wear. Name is anything ladies, corporate, casual. And my Instagram handle is Molamide Clothings, Molamide_clothings. So you can follow me on Instagram. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Nobody has said I'm a student here. And I know students have businesses. Yeah, Chief, come now. Come. Thank you very much. No, please. Come and stand with me here. All right. Thank you.
All right, so good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bolu Atife. Can everyone hear me? All right, so my name is Bolu Atife. I own a business, a clothing business, majorly Adire. I create unique Adire wears, especially round necks, t-shirts. That is what I do. And also, I'm a songwriter. That is the gift God has blessed me with. And also, I think I desire to be a good public speaker because I'm a shy person. So, yes, that is that. And the name of my business is Toxo Textiles. You can check it on Instagram, Toxo Textiles, TUXO_textiles. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, come forward now. Come forward. Students, I've not heard I'm a student too. I've not heard I'm a Okay, you'll be next. Let us just see. You are shy.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Oluwatobiloba Oluwale. I am a banker, and I'm also a baker.
Public speaker.
Okay, let me try again. Okay, my name is Oluwale Oluwatobiloba. I am a banker, and I'm also a baker. And trust me, I bake the best banana bread here in Lagos. And so, make sure you stop to get one for yourself after the event. This is the name of my business, Adonis Dulce's Cakes. I'm wearing my t-shirt. And you can follow me on Instagram too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Chief, you can come, please. Okay.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Ibrahim Olaoluwa. I'm a 300-level geomatics engineering student of the University of Lagos State. I own a startup, an edutech startup called Spark Intellectual Firm. I'm a pianist. I'm an entrepreneur, obviously. So, that's it.
I think my next album is ready. I have a pianist, I have a songwriter, I have a singer. We are in the studio tomorrow or after this event. All right. You want to come up? Please do. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Fumilola Adiola. First of all, I'm a graduate of accounting from Obafemi Awolowo University, and currently I am a fashion consultant. I design outfits, I stamp people for their events, and I also teach fashion. So I run my fashion business, Exotic Me Fashion and Designs, where I make bridal, bespoke, and ready-to-wear outfits. I also run a fashion accessories business, Exotic Empire Crafts and Designs, where I make African print accessories. And I also teach fashion. I've worked in 2 fashion schools in Lagos here, and I also teach fashion online. You can follow me at the Exotic Fashion Institute. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We have our first public speaker here. She got me engaged throughout. So at this point, I feel like we have entrepreneurs packed in this place and people doing great things even in their small spaces. And I hope that very soon, after this summit, we are going to be hearing of businesses and what we've learned from this summit. Okay, so at this point, we're just going to be playing little games. And since we are seated row by row. This will be team A, B, C, and D. All right, so it's just, I know we've played charades, have we? Are we aware of the game called charades? Okay, so I think maybe we'll come back to that. I think we are ready for the next speaker, so I'll just hand it over. But thank you very much for your time.
A round of applause for Rotimi. That was fun. It made us, talk about our businesses and what we do. And I'm starting to think, what do I say about myself? What do I do? Who knows what I do for a living? So don't listen to them. It's a lie. My name is Oluwaranti Olaitonle Atela. Say that again. And I'm a quiet, gentle, well put together, not dramatic, not playful, very gentle young lady. But I'm super excited about this next phase because, you see, I don't know, I've always had very mixed feelings about people in the HR industry. Because I don't know if they are for me or against me. If you are in the professional world, in offices, you don't know, are they for you? Are they for the business? So today, we have somebody who is not just any kind of HR professional, but she's certified. I'd like to welcome this morning Mrs. Yetunde Ayeni to our midst. Please be seated, ma. We're not ready yet. And I have a lot of questions on my mind for her, but I'll let her talk to us first and foremost, prepare us for the job search. What makes your CV tick before an HR professional? What makes you the number one person of choice when they look at what you have to offer? I'd like the media to please help me as we hear a little bit more about Ms. Yetunde Ayeni.
Yetunde Ayeni is a certified member and a licensed HR professional with the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria and a graduate of Industrial and Labor Relations from Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ogun State, Nigeria. With over 16 years' experience, she has been leading teams in various organization sizes, small, medium, and large, and across industries, including oil and gas, consulting, information technology, FMCG, with the most recent being insurance. Her experience in HR spans across organizational development, talent management, change management, culture transformation, learning and development, workforce planning, talent attraction and retention performance management, succession planning, employee experience and diversity, equity and inclusion, amongst other HR strategies. Her leadership aspirations are geared towards ensuring talent availability, development, and retention in a forward-thinking organization. Presently, she functions in the capacity of the Group Head Resources at Hares Insurance Group, a member of Hares Holdings Group. As a member of the executive management, she brings passion to work and extends the motivation to others. She is motivated by her ability to consistently provide business solutions that drive transformation. She is a believer who loves God, happily married, and is blessed with children. Please make welcome Yetunde Ayeni.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Please, if that clap was for me, thank you. I appreciate it. But if it was for God, I think it's too small. Can you make it louder? To the one that has made it possible for every one of us to be here. We don't have what it takes to bring ourselves to life, but God has made it possible for us to breathe. We can lift our hands. We can, move. We are not on life support. We are not making jest of those that can't do all of this, but we can only say that we are opportune and graced to be here this morning. So still in that atmosphere, I'd just like us to just say a word of prayer to the Almighty God that has given us the ability to be here this morning. Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you. We want to appreciate you for all that you've been doing in our lives. We want to thank you because without you, we are nothing. Without you, we wouldn't even be here. And we are here to learn at your feet, have an understanding of where next you want us to be, and give us that direction, and help us indeed to bring our dreams to reality in putting our faith to work, not just believing that things will come through for us, but indeed seeing them come through and living in those dreams. By your strength, by your power, by your grace, and at the end of it all, we'll have every reason to give thanks to your holy name. Thank you, Lord, for answered prayers. In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed. Please take a seat. Are we excited to be here this morning? Are you sure? That's not the energy I was expecting. They told me that the people of House of Wonders don't hold back. They're very expressive. They're okay, yeah, getting gingered. Okay, we are getting there. That they're very expressive. They are themselves. They're free. They are unique. Okay, so it's looking more like it. I don't know if I have someone to help me with a bit of music. Let's just do some exercise. Let's wake up. Quickly. So, what's this song? Is it Omo Baba or something? I just need something energetic. Okay? Don't worry. We'll get there soon. How many minutes do I have? 1 hour. Okay, let me time myself, because the spirit of excellence dwells in every one of us, and we must bring it to bear, yeah? Unfortunately, I don't know where stopwatch is on this my phone. All right, so I'll be speaking to us this morning on having an entrepreneurial mindset for business success. But before I go into that, please, I don't, okay. They're helping me with my stuff. Okay, thank you. Let me unlock. Great. So we are going to move around, right, and give a fist bump to at least 10 people. Okay? So Lola, let's just try it. Come, quickly.
Say what? Let's go. Are you ready for step 2? Are you ready for step 2? 1, 2, 3, let's go, say.
Are we doing it?
Motila Luyo, Omilary skyscraper. Motiwa Luke, Malono Gere, Wabami Luke.
I'm seated in His glory. If you look me, you will see, say, I got the name.
All right, please take your seat, but the music can go.
Lady, what? I can hear you. Say what? Ladies and gentlemen, you don't mean it. Let's go. Can you count it? Can you think of it? Of course. When I think of the goodness of Jesus and all He has done for me, I know He comes.
Yes.
I know He comes.
Okay.
I know He comes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm glad to be in your midst. One of the things I'm passionate about is speaking to young people, young professionals, people within my age brackets, and even older people, okay? So I'm hoping that we'll make the best of today. So most of the time, right, we aspire to be so many things. But do we really know what we want when coming up with those aspirations? Okay, so I heard a few people introducing themselves, telling us about who they are, what they do, and I heard someone saying, I want to sell myself. I'm here to sell myself. I hope I heard correctly. Right. And I said, oh, this person is actually speaking to one of the things I would like to touch on here. So I'll take us on a journey of getting a job, right? Searching for that job, the tools you need to search for that job, the little beginnings, how you go through exploring, testing the waters, and then deciding on what career journey to embark on, and how long it will take you on that career journey to get to the peak. And in the course of it, while you're doing that job, what are the things you need to do, right? Thinking like the owner and achieving success on it. And then you decide if you want to continue building that career, like working or running your own business. And then I'll take us on how to manage success, because definitely God has not created any one of us not to succeed. The time might be different, but definitely we are created to succeed. If God, our Heavenly Father, is successful in every way, and the Bible tells us that we are created in His image and likeness, then we shouldn't settle for less. And He expects us to do greater things than He did, right? So the prayers of our parents is that we should be greater than them. And God, being our creator, expects us to even be greater than Him, doing greater works than He has done, right? So we'll achieve that success. Now, when that success comes, how do you manage it? The scripture also tells us that pride begets a fall. I hope I got that right. So it comes before a fall. So when success comes, you let it get into your head, and then you forget who you are. Or you keep reinventing yourself, keep creating more wealth. Even the scripture says that He has given us power to do or create wealth, right? So do you keep creating that wealth, or when you make that first profit, or when you make that first million, when you land on that first dream job, do you just forget who you are and just spend all your earnings, or reinvest and recreate wealth? So I'll take you on that journey this morning. So it's going to be an engaging session. I'm not a radio device. I'll just be speaking, and all of you just be listening. When you're tired, you tune the station. No, it's going to be collaborative, right? So I'm looking forward to a highly engaging session. So please, move to the next slide. Okay, so like I said, this is what I'll be speaking to. The 4 pillars, of course, with the subset there. The journey to the dream job, the career advancement, taking you through your career journey, the power of the mind, how your mindset can help you become who you really are, or even mar you from becoming who you want to be, right? And then I'll take you through managing success. Okay, I was wondering where you guys are seeing it from. Okay, right. This light is really getting into my eyes, but I think I'll cope. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Now, a lot of us, right, and one thing I've observed recently is that a lot of people, in the course of my profession, I've realized that a lot of people just want to hammer on the first job. It doesn't start like that in most cases. If I tell you that my first job was business development, I was a sales rep, not because I was not sure of what I wanted to be. I knew I wanted to do HR, but that was what was available for me then, so I hopped on it, right? So I had to do it. But what that has helped me with today is that even as a human resource professional, I'm not just the regular human resource professional. I am business-minded. For every organization that I find myself working, I want to understand that business. I want to understand how I can add value to that business through the people. So that way, you're not just administrative, you're strategic. They're not just seeing you as passing things to you, but getting you involved where decisions are going to be made. So because you are maybe a finance officer, wherever you're working, or even a student, I believe there are some students here, right? Okay. You should be able to add value in every environment you find yourself. Don't be the regular person. Don't be the regular person. Be different. And don't be afraid to be different. So at the beginning of that phase, okay, we've gone through school, we're out of school, NYSC, and all of that. The job search begins. And then the people will just send you, oh, I just finished. They just assume that you have all those jobs because you're a human resource professional, you have the job. inside your pockets. So once you tell them, oh, I want a job, just okay, go get the job done. No, that's not how it comes. Business owners are not looking for people that would add problems to them, but they are looking for solution providers. What do you have to offer? I'm offering you pay for the skills you're bringing, but would the skills you're bringing add value to my business? So where do we need to get it right before we now get to that value add point? I was discussing with Chris that our educational system is not helping us at all. We are not getting it right there. If I ask some of us to design our CVs right now, I'm sure it might be disastrous. We might not even know what to put in it. Or some people will just write their family history in that CV and expect that that's what I need. No. I don't even need your address on the CV, because I see a lot of people put addresses on the CV. Right? For security reasons these days, though, please don't put your address on your CV, because you never know where it will land. It might just land in the hand of someone selling akara. And the kidnapper goes there to buy akara. And then they come for that person. That will not be our portion in Jesus' name. So, getting it right from school. Don't just go through that school or that academic system. But the truth is that it's rather unfortunate that in Nigeria, we pay so much attention on certification, qualification, and all that. But in the Western world, it's your skills, what you can do, what you're passionate about, that brings you that income. Even the scripture says the works of your hands will be blessed, not the jobs that you do. There's a difference between work and job, right? What makes you do the work is the talent that you have. And God has deposited those talents in us. Am I right or wrong? At least I'll remind you with the story of the parable of the talent. The one God gave 1, the one God gave 2, 5, and all that. What did they do with it? The one that had 1 kept it, thinking, let me just keep this one, protect it, without doing anything with it, without investing, without using it. And the other one that had 3, multiplied, or was it the one with 5 that multiplied it now? 5, yeah, multiplied it. That's reinvesting, recreating wealth. I want us to really pay attention to the things I'll be speaking to us about, because I believe so much that the power of our minds, how we think, can determine how far we would go in life. And it's not just about having that mindset, about doing it. It's easy for anyone to say, I'm going to be rich. Oh, I'm going to drive that car. If you don't work towards it, forget it, bro. Nothing. It's not going to come through. So, now at the beginning of our career journey, now we're done with school, right? We're out in the labor market. But sometimes for spirituality or religious thinking, we'll say favor market. Okay. But let's face reality. It's labor market. But God is in the affairs of men, right? So definitely we would find favor. But we also need to be consistent and faithful in our ways with Him. So at that time, you're out of school. You're exploring. You don't even know what yet to do. You don't even know the kind of job that would come your way. But at that time, every opportunity that comes, jump at it. Don't say this is not the kind of job I want. Oh, they're going to pay me 20,000 naira. My first job was 45,000 naira. 15,000 naira was fixed. 30,000 naira was variable. Meaning if I meet my target, I'll earn that 30,000. So if I don't meet it, I'm on my own. And I need to keep my baby girl life on point. There was no baby girl life then, though. It was hustling life. Okay, so just saying. Don't wait until, oh, no, this one has come. Pass, next. Oh, my God. You will tarry till He comes. Don't go to the next slide yet. You will tarry till Jesus comes and you will not achieve anything. And then He asks you, what did you do with the talent I gave you? May our story not be like the one that didn't invest in the talent God gave him. So you're exploring. You don't even know what direction. So take on what comes to you. There's no knowledge that is lost. You're developing those skills to help you on your career journey, because you don't know how long that career is going to take, right? So we all know that the work duration for the private sector is 30 years, right? The public sector is 35 years. So let's just say that 30 30, 35 years, worst case scenario. And if you are successful in your career, you'll be on the board of other companies, and you see yourself still working even beyond 30 years. So you really don't know where it ends, but statistics has it that it's 30 and 35 for private and public sector respectively. But definitely goes beyond that. So you're exploring. So those knowledge you're gathering then helps you. Even when you're doing your IT or youth service, don't assume that, they're just using you as a dumping ground. They're just passing all those dirty jobs to you. Get them done. How you handle those little things will determine how you handle the bigger jobs when they come. So it's not going to be a case of, I can't kill myself. Please don't ever have that mentality of, I can't kill myself. Work hard. Work hard. Hard work does not kill. It's laziness that kills, because when you're lazy, you can't make money. You live in poverty. That's the truth. Hard work doesn't kill. So you have to be disciplined about it. So take on what comes to you. That's self-exploration. Now you continue on that journey, right? You move to career. You don't even know the career. You don't know what career trajectory you want to embark on at that time, because, like I said, I started off with sales and business development, and I knew I wanted to do HR, and then I moved again to a dance company, and then started HR in practice before I then moved into consulting, right? So when I moved into consulting, I was thinking, do I really want to remain as a consultant or just be a generalist? You know, because consulting can be static. You just be providing solutions, just template that you're working with. The only thing that is changing is the organizations you are providing those solutions to, right? So it can happen that, you start off as a business development person today. The next job you are getting on will probably be business development. Then you'll probably be into communications, because you get to interact a lot when you're doing sales, and probably you venture into communications, marketing, because there's a difference between marketing and sales, right? So you get into that and you're thinking, okay, this is looking interesting. So do I want to build on being a brand expert? And then let's assume you now focus on being a brand expert. You have decided the career you want to take on at that time. Now that movement changes from where you've left the career exploration phase, then you moved into the decision phase. And from that decision phase, you already know where you're going to. And you set the goals for yourself. 2 years down the line, I want to be XYZ. 5 years down the line, I want to be leading XYZ. 10 years down the line, I want to attain this XYZ position. And then you take all those actions. Don't just write them down. Take those actions, bring them to life, and then you achieve success. This is just to build that background of how we embark on those journeys. And then I've highlighted there how we can navigate through those exploration process. I won't belabor that. It's right there. I won't read it to you, but I want to believe you've seen them. So we can move to the next slide now. Now, those tools that would help us get on those jobs. You know, this is 2024. Back then in 2020 and 2000, did we have LinkedIn then? When was LinkedIn launched? I can't remember. The tech experts in our midst, can you remember? We didn't have LinkedIn then. So we could not leverage on technology to even get jobs, unlike now that technology has simplified almost everything for us. So I've highlighted here the top 10 job portals, right? LinkedIn being the most common one that we all know. But because we don't do research, we don't explore, we probably won't know that there are several. There are a lot of job portals. So you can explore all these job portals for your own advantage, right? LinkedIn is now becoming Facebook, but please make the best use of it. It's still useful to some people, those that are very serious about it. So it's not just for posting of pictures and all that. And there are some write-ups that does not really make sense. I don't just jump on it. But if you are creating valuable content, definitely you will have your followers. You have good followers, and then it influences the opportunities that would come through for you. Okay, you have the Jobs DB, you have the Fast Jobs, you have Found It. Sorry, I can't really see the screen because of the light, but it's okay. We'll manage through. Now, we hear a lot of AI, artificial intelligence, and a lot of people are scared. The truth is, the word itself has made it clear that it's not replacing. A lot of people are scared that they will lose their jobs. The truth is artificial, meaning that it still needs human intervention to become intelligent. There are information put into whatever the information is put into for it to project it. So it's garbage in, garbage out. It's not going to take in the information itself. but it's just to make life easier for a lot of us. So, research has it that we have about 10 top AI tools that can help you in your job search. So it helps you in designing your CV. So your CV even looks very fantastic. Some people like to put pictures on their CVs, but if you're going to put pictures, put professional headshots. Don't put pictures of you standing by the flower and doing like this on the CV. It's not so fantastic. It's not professional at all. Left to me, I won't even put a picture on the CV. I won't. But if you want to, no problem. Make it a professional headshot. So somehow we can psychoanalyze that personality just by looking at that person's image, Sometimes some are gifted like that. Now, that helps you create a very nice CV. So all these tools are going to help you redesign your CV, position, and help you know how to craft certain things. Even there are some that can help you determine the pay scale for a particular kind of job, because sometimes it's a difficult thing for people to know their worth. When you're asked how much do you want to earn, some people say, oh, I believe, the common one I've heard, I believe that you have a structure. I want something that is internally equitable and externally competitive. I think that's the common one. I said, these things you are speaking is just English. I want figures, because I have a budget I'm running with. So anyone that wants to hire you wants to know how much it's going to cost him or her to bring you into the business, and then I want to know the value you would add to even multiply that recruitment cost. So don't just go for the money. If you don't have substance, honestly, it's not a good thing for you to then start thinking that, oh, my employer is cheating me. No. There is a contract. If eventually you get that job, I'll get to how you can get the job. If eventually you get that job, right? Don't feel entitled that the employer owes you beyond what you both agreed to in the contract of employment. I've heard a lot of employees complain, they don't even care about me. You forgot, or I should be paid more than I'm earning. You've forgotten you signed a contract. You read the terms. You said you were okay with it. You accepted the offer, right? So you are not doing the employer a favor, and the employer is not doing you a favor. The employer is paying you for the value you're bringing. Should that value increase, definitely that's where reward, recognition, promotion will come in and you'll be considered. You can't keep doing the same thing from the time you enter that organization and expect the employer to give you a pay rise. No, it's not going to happen. You must add value. You bring your passion to bear. You bring your creativity to bear. Don't just do the job because, they've asked me to do it. This is my job description. I'm not going beyond that job description. It's not going beyond that. No, you must go beyond the job description. Because how you handle another person's business is how you handle your own business when you eventually become an entrepreneur. You think it's easy running a business? No, I'm sure Chris can share his experience with us. It's not easy running a business. Even the little businesses we are running are side hustles. It's not easy running those businesses. And speaking about side hustles, it just crossed my mind now. Please don't spend your employer's time. If you're in a paid employment and you have a side hustle, do not spend your employer's time on your side hustle. No, that's not fair. Dedicate your 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, whatever your working hours are, to the employer. After hours, focus on your side hustle. Work should not start at 8 o'clock, and then I come to your desk, you're having morning devotion. What's that? No, there's time for everything. Okay? So, now I'm going to give us some interview preparation tips. The moment you get that, so let's assume now that you've used these AI tools to simplify and make your CV attractive, and you've been invited for an interview, because yes, it starts from that CV content. You then would tell if that individual can defend the content of that CV when you invite the candidate for an interview, because sometimes the CVs are looking very nice and attractive, and then you invite the person to the interview, and then the person will say, I went, I wasn't there. And you wonder what's going on here. Okay, so let's assume all of us have gotten it right? Our CVs are on point. We've been invited for an interview. The moment you get that call, please try to know that company. Research about that company. Find out so many informations about the company. The culture, the work style, what have they achieved, their vision, their mission, their purpose, their core values, because it must align. Your personal aspiration and the corporate aspiration of that organization you're looking into must align. If not, it's not all invitations that you jump at. It's not pride. It's just knowing what you stand for. There are some organizations that are not worth it. But unfortunately, by the time they design their websites, you think it's heaven on earth until you then find out later. So find out. If you know people that are working there, find out. Try to look at the leadership lineup of that organization. So let's assume you find one you like. They've invited you for a physical session. Please look good. Looking good is good business. Look good. It doesn't matter if you come and say rubbish, but still look good. They will give you the audience. If you get there in your flip-flop or Crocs, like nowadays, people just want to wear Crocs on every outfit. They won't give you the audience. They will just stylishly discharge you. Please look good. Smell good. Ladies, don't let your hair be everywhere. That you're now in the interview, you're doing like this several times. Do like this. It's not going to work. And smell nice, but don't choke us with the perfume. Don't choke us with the perfume or cologne for men. Then for men, there shouldn't be sweat patch on your shirt. Very important. There shouldn't be sweat patch on your shirt. Your jacket, the lapel must be nice. The ladies, if you're going to, don't dress provocatively. Don't expose anything. Don't reveal anything. Look nice. Your makeup should be moderate. Right? Your makeup should, the nails should not be as long as the cane my grandma used in flogging me growing up. Because I see a lot of long nails now. They are nice. I'm not condemning nails. I'm a tomboy. I don't do nails, but I try to polish my nails. But don't be provocative. Wear heels. Don't wear flat shoes. No matter, even if it's kitten heels. There's some confidence that heels gives you when you walk. For those that have not started wearing heels. Yes, you might not know. I'm telling you now. Please, then when you wear heels, practice at home first before you go there. So that you don't get there, you're doing like this. And what's wrong with you? They'll think you're dancing. What dance is this one? Okay, don't do that. So, look nice. Then, before you speak, be calm. Don't be quick to speak. Be very calm. Because when you're not calm, you'll be nervous. And it comes across the panelists that you're nervous. And they'll think you don't know what you're saying. Or you don't know your onions. But that's not the case. But because you're nervous. So be calm. So it's always good to get there earlier. So you would have calmed down. So when they call you, it's easy. See it as a conversation, not, hey, they're going to ask me questions that I don't know, or you memorize the answers. No. They have invited you because you are an expert in that field, right? So go and show them that you know what you're saying. You know what to do. You know what you're talking about. You're going to teach them. Because the truth is, those on that panel might not even be experts in that area. It's only one person that will probably be an expert in that area. And that would be the user department or whoever is requesting for that candidate to come to his or her department. Other people might just be testing for your behavioral competencies or your disposition and all that. Not that they know what you're telling them. In fact, some of them are learning from you. So go confidently, speak well, be calm. And then don't be too quick to answer the questions. Take your time, think. But you must be able to think on the spot. Think. And then you speak next, okay? Then you must listen. Because if you don't listen, they will ask you A, you're answering Z. And they're wondering, did you hear the question? So they're already having a perception about you that this person might not be a good listener. So listen. Take your time. Listen. Then show interest. Don't let them know you're desperate, even though you know that, this job, I need it. Don't show desperation. Show interest. Show them that you're passionate about what you do. You love it. In fact, let them feel that you even love the organization you are coming from. That's if you already have a working experience. Maybe you're trying to change jobs. Let them know that you even love the organization, that it's still going to be difficult for them to get you away from there. So they need to work hard to get you. Okay? So, what did I put here? State the value. Sorry, the light is getting to my, but I'll manage. Ask intelligent questions, right? In consulting, one of the things we learned quickly is that, in fact, the first day my managing partner told me that, he said, foolish people assume, intelligent people ask questions. It's when you ask questions that you get to know a lot of things. So don't assume it is this. I've heard people say, in my mind, I thought it was supposed to be this. Someone gave you a task to do. You didn't understand the expectation, and you went ahead to do it, and you were saying in your mind, you were thinking. No. Ask questions. Let there be an understanding of what that person has said to you. So ask questions. So it's an interview. Yes, they have invited you, but you can also question the panel. Especially when you're not sure about certain things about the organization, but ask in your own interest and in the interest of the business, so you don't look selfish, right? And state the value you would add to the business. It's very, very important. When you ask, why should we hire you? Sell yourself. Sell yourself. Let them know the value you're bringing to the table. It takes the panel less than 2 minutes to know if you're a potential hire or not. When they ask you to introduce yourself, please don't start your family history. Go straight, tell them your name, your educational background, move to your career journey, your achievements. In fact, trumpet the achievement very well. And then let them know that you have an understanding of their business and you are thinking in the direction of that business. And these are the things you would do. Now, for some level, the interview process might just be oral all through. But for some senior levels, after the oral interview, there's going to be a competency-based assessment where you would indeed put in writing all the things you said you would achieve or value you would add to the business. And then you drive it home. So they will ask you for it, maybe a presentation. They will send you a case study. Now, there are no right or wrong answers to case studies, but they only want to see how you're thinking, how you can, provide business solutions, how you can indeed take the business to the next level. So it's not a case of, I will just do some graphics on if the graphics is not driving home the point, forget it. It's just pure aesthetics, no content. Right? So, I want us to do a role play. Are we ready? Do you think I've given you enough tips to get on a job? Not yet. You are not confident yet that you can get a job. Okay, so let's do a role play quickly. Can I have 3 chairs? I'll need 3 panel or panelists, whichever is correct. English is not my language. Then one candidate. So I need volunteers quickly. Chris, will you help me? Yes. I want a business owner to be on the panel so we can see how interviews. Because at some point you will meet the business owner at some point in the course of the interview. So where would the candidates? Let's make it sideways. So the panelists are sitting here, and then the candidates are sitting here. So you can move to the next slide. So we know we're on the role play. Okay, so I need one more volunteer to be on the panel. Who? Quickly. Executive. Madam. Okay, one more person. So who would be our candidate? Who is ready for the interview? Quickly. Okay, so candidates, hold on. I will bring you in. I'm the front desk executive. I'll bring you in. We need one more person. Oh, great. Okay, please clap for our panelists. Okay, great. All right, so I won't let you know what I want to tell them, so that I won't give you a hint. All right, I've given them expo, but I won't give the candidates expo. Okay, so I'm the front desk executive. Or okay. All right, panelists, good morning. Are you ready for the interview today? All right, so I have the first candidate waiting. Shall I bring her in? All right, thank you. All right, what's your name, please? All right, please, Moturayo, please come. Good morning, Moturayo. How are you today? Okay, I'm aware you've been penned down for an interview with us today. Okay, are you ready? The panelists are ready? Okay, I wish you all the very best in your interview today. Please come with me. All right, panelists, your candidate is here. Moturayo, please take a seat here. All right, then.
Good morning. Good morning, Moturayo. How are you doing today? Good morning, I'm fine, thank you. Okay, so welcome to this panel session for your first interview. The interview is for the role. Can you remind us what the role you applied for is?
Audit.
Audit?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting, because what we actually decided to engage you for is something different from that. So we'll be looking at maybe audit and then something in the admin side of our business.
Okay.
So I have here 3 of our people. I have Mr. Christopher, myself, and then I have Miss Elizabeth as well.
Nice to meet you.
So tell us about yourself.
Okay. Good morning once again, and thank you for the opportunity. My name is Moturayo Oluwafemi. I went to Caleb University, Lagos, where I studied mass communication. During my service here, I worked as an admin assistant. I helped with files, looking for files. I served in the north, so it's a bit different from, this side. So I would always look for files, dirty files.
So are you multilingual? You speak different languages?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
No. So I worked as an admin assistant. Afterwards, I taught for a year and some months before working as a customer service representative in 2 different organizations. Before moving...
What organizations did you work for?
Okay, so I worked for Tech Formation. It's a tech company. They provide internet to families and individuals, like broadband. And then I also worked for an health insurance organization where, I interact with customers and I help them through the process of healthcare before moving to audit.
Okay,
So
thank you so much for that. Because I know the other co-panelists may have questions, but I have one question for you.
Please go ahead.
You said you were in the north, right?
Yes.
You know, the north is pretty much very conservative, and here you are in the jungle called Lagos. How do you think you're going to be able to cope?
Can you explain? Cope?
So you're coming to work in Lagos, where it's a jungle from AM to PM, and the demands on your skills are actually going to be a lot more than you would have expected.
Okay.
In the north, it's a little bit more laid back, I would assume. But here you're in Lagos, where so much is going to be demanded of you. How are you going to cope?
Okay, so I was only in the north for 1 year. I've been in Lagos all my life. So I'm already used to the hustle and bustle, for lack of a better word, of Lagos.
Okay. I have another question for
Please
you.
go ahead.
So could you give us a scenario where something happened at work, where you needed to show your skills, where you needed to show yourself, and how well you could perform in the role of an administrative staff, and how you handled that?
So as an admin staff, there was no real life scenario because, just like I said, in the north, people are a bit laid back. There's not so much work like that. But then, if you want me to make up a scenario,
I think that'll be fine. But there are about 40 other applicants waiting after you. Why should I go for you? In one sentence.
Okay. Because I believe that I'm competent, and I also believe in the
You
vision
believe what you
of
know.
I know that I'm competent, and I also believe in the vision of the business. And I think that I can integrate myself into the vision of the business and bring value
to your organization.
You can bring value to it. Can I just get in 30 seconds, quick family background of yourself? 30 seconds.
My dad is late, and I have 3 siblings, all girls.
All girls.
Yes.
I do not mean to pry into your private life. Are you engaged, married, or
I'm very
involved?
much single.
Very much single. So you won't. So the organization would not have a problem when your time is being stretched after hours.
No.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so you mentioned that you have audit skills,
yes,
right? I wanted to know if you had to perform an audit engagement within, say, 3 weeks.
Okay.
How many people would you need on your team to complete that engagement?
I think a team of 3 is fine, because the first process is to interact or engage with the SOP of the team, and then know where you need to ask certain questions, because even in auditing, I don't know what your team is doing. So your SOP guides me to be able to know what to ask and then where to come in as an auditor to be able to help the organization put processes in place. And then after that, a meeting is set up, an opening meeting is set up to inform the team that we are going to be auditing you for a period of this and this and this. So period, there's a time frame. After that, the review starts, and after the review starts, observations, it could be weaknesses or strengths of the team, the things that they are not doing well and the things that they are doing well, that must align with the vision of the organization. After that, the team is presented with these observations, and they are expected to work on it, especially in places where there are lapses, and they need to work on it. And after that, after the presentation, the review is escalated or presented to the higher ups.
All right. Thank you so much, Maturaya, for that. So our final question would be, how much do you want us to pay you for this role? What are your salary expectations?
500K.
Okay. Why is that?
I believe that the amount will commiserate with the value I'm bringing to the table.
Okay. Thank you very much for your
You're
time.
welcome.
We'll be. Thank you very much for your time. We'll be in touch with
Thank you very much.
A round of applause for Muturai. Do we have any giveaway for Muturai? I'm just asking. No. Do we have any giveaway for her? Can I get a male come for this interview quickly? A male volunteer, quickly. Please give Muturai a round of applause as she proceeds to her seat. I want to believe they will bring your gift to you. A male volunteer, quickly. Ha. The men are not looking for. The men are fine. No one else. Okay, so no one else, quickly. You want to come? Okay, encourage him. You can do this quickly in 3 minutes. Let's do this in 3 minutes, and then we will check with our panelists what they think about the candidates. All right, good morning. Hold on now. Good morning. What's your name, please? Kelvin. Kelvin, why are you here, Kelvin?
I'm actually here for an interview.
All right, let me check if I have your name on the schedule. Okay, Kelvin Little. All right, welcome, Kelvin. I'll take you to the panel. Please come with me. Good morning, panelists. You have your second candidate here, Kelvin. Kelvin, please take a seat.
Thank you. Kelvin, right? Yeah, Kelvin. Good morning.
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, good morning, Kelvin. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Looks like you just walked off a rap video set. What role are you here for?
So,
you're in an interview room with your Hawaiian shirts, your brown chinos, your Air Force Air Nikes. What role are you here for, Kevin?
For sales intern.
A sales intern?
Yes.
Okay. So is this the way you dress normally?
It depends on where I'm going to really.
You thought it would be nice for you to appear in our interview room dressed like a rapper?
No, I don't think this is a VAP wear.
So what do you think you're dressed as then?
I'm just as casual, really.
You're dressed casual.
Yeah.
So if, for instance, we have one of our partners walk into this interview room and we have to take you on board, what do you think their impression is going to be?
I really can't tell, but...
You really can't tell?
Yes.
I'll come back for you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Calvin. So we're going to be interviewing you for a role in sales, in our sales team. And we deal with HNIs and UHNIs. So can you tell me maybe some of your past experiences in your previous jobs on what you have done in this regard?
Okay, yeah. So I currently just finished my youth service, so I really do not have experience in
Please,
sales.
you have to be more audible because we can't hear you.
Oh, I currently just finished my NYSC. So I saw the role and I felt it would be nice delve into something different because I studied urban and regional planning.
You studied?
I studied urban and regional planning. Yeah, so I thought it would be nice if I stepped into something very different. Considering the fact that I love conversing with people, and I've read a couple of books on negotiation, so I believe that testing what I've learned so far would be very good. Yes.
So how much experience do you actually have in sales? I know you said you just finished your NYSC, but have you done any form of, sales transactions? If you can give me maybe a range of, the clients, you've engaged with, how much, income?
Yeah, so thank you very much for that question. So I've had a couple experiential marketing with Total at the trade fair at TBS. So we had a job where we had to bring in people because it was a trade fair, and we spoke to them about the products that we have. We had solar, floodlights and solar lights, and then I was able to engage with people that I never knew before, brought them into our space, and then spoke to them about the particular product we had, and then they picked a particular one they wanted to get that would benefit them. Yeah, and also for NASCO conflicts, experiential marketing. Yeah, so basically.
Okay, so before I hand over to my colleagues to ask you more questions, I'll just say, I'll give you an example of one of our service offerings. We sell insurance, and I want you to do a pitch. If you're before a particular company and you want to sell our services to them, I need you to pitch that to me in your Hawaiian shirt.
You need me to pitch that to you?
Yes, we're waiting.
Doing fully well that I don't have a ground knowledge on insurance.
Okay, you know what? I own a private jet, right?
Oh, okay.
I own a private jet. I need to have global insurance to move it from country to country. Pitch.
Oh, okay. Do you need me to stand up?
No. You're perfect with your Hawaiian shirt. Sit down.
Okay. So for one thing about sales that I learned is that you...
No. I didn't ask you about sales. I said I own a jet. Pitch.
Pitch.
Yes.
You own a jet.
Sell your service to me. Yes.
Okay. Oh, you own a jet?
There are so many insurance companies that would love to insure my jet. It costs millions of dollars every year for me to run that and keep that bird in the sky. So can you pitch?
Like I said, I would like to know one of the things that you did not like about the other insurance.
No, I love them.
You do?
Yes, I love them, absolutely.
So why?
Remember my birthdays? They gave me this Rolex watch. They fly me. So just you pitch. Why should I leave them and come to your company and give you a few millions of dollars every year?
Because we're the best in what we do.
That's not good enough for me.
Okay, we've over time, over the years, we've, aside the fact that we are the number one insurance company in the country, we've over time offered our good services to our clients, which had, made them come through and also refer clients to us. Yes. So
can you give me an example of one or two of those clients? I have friends and neighbors where I live in Banana, right? We all have jets. Do you have any of my, those that you think are in my circle who already use your service?
Yes.
You can mention their
previous-
names.
yeah.
You can call their names.
Oh,
Don't
I
worry.
can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we worked
Alaji
with,
Aliko is a good friend of mine. I mean, go ahead. Feel free.
Yes, we worked with him. I also worked with Fumi Ainde, yeah.
You worked with Fumi Ainde. Who
Yeah,
else? Who else?
Yeah, and we also worked with Yetunde Ayeni.
Yetunde Ayeni. Oh,
Yeah,
she's an amazing woman. So you also insure a jet as well?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm impressed.
Hi, Kelvin.
Hi, Mom.
All right. You're coming to work in an insurance firm as a sales intern. And you know, in our day and in our time, sustainability is a big deal. And our clients want to know how you are going to help them become more sustainable. As my colleague here said, he said if he owned a private jet and you wanted to insure it, pitch that to him. So I would say that we deal with companies in aviation, in construction, in manufacturing, and they want to become more sustainable. So can you tell us what you know about green climate insurance?
I don't.
Okay, that's fine. But apart from that, I also wanted to know, why do you want to join our company? Why?
Okay, yeah, so aside the fact that it's a sales intern where I think I'll be able to learn and also express everything that I've learned over time. I read about the company and, the vision statement was something I kind of aligned with.
Are you sure it's not our end of the year party you see on Instagram that is thrown by our chairman, Chip Tony?
No, I mean, that's not a problem.
He has this beautiful palatial mansion in Korea, and we throw the best end of the year. Are you sure that's not why you're here?
No, that's not the only reason why I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Because
so it's one of the reasons.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to party
because,
with us.
No,
you mentioned my dear friend here today as well.
Yeah,
so you want to party with us? That's
not party as
not party here because you walked in here looking like you came to party.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try because we have quite a number of people. So what would you expect for your take home?
So I got a range of 200 to 350.
200 to 350,000 there.
Yes.
What if I give you 150?
150.
Yes. Contractually bound to 150,000 to sell insurance.
That's very, very good. It's a good.
But you considered so.
But are we also concluding? Are we also putting into considerations the commissions and other benefits?
Yeah, there are commissions, but you considered so quickly and so easily.
So why I did that was I wanted to know the benefits, because sometimes the benefits and the commissions outweighs, yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's part of the negotiation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kelvin, so much for your time. We'll let you know if we're going to be going through with you on the next round.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Kelvin Little. Thank you so much. A round of applause for the candidate and a round of applause for the panelists. But before they go, they need to tell us their perception of the first candidate, second candidate. If we have the time, I'll quickly take 2 or 3 people who can tell me what they noted differently. So I'll start off with you, please.
Okay. I'm just going to give an overview of Moturaya and Kelvin.
Sure.
I think Moturaya's interview was more composed in terms of her responses, her composure while we were questioning her. She was taken aback by some questions, but she came back. Although there were some answers that I felt, were not exactly directly responded to, but she still went around it some way, just so that she could give a response. Yeah. So for Kelvin, I feel like he could have come more prepared for the interview, read a little more about the organization that he was coming to join, because he's coming as an intern, so we don't have as much expectations as such. However, there are some questions that we expect him to have been able to answer better.
All right.
So.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I would agree. I think Moturaya was a bit more composed in the beginning. There were some questions that, she didn't answer properly. For instance, the audit question, I think maybe that was like a strategy. She did she spoke about a lot of things that she knew, as opposed to like hitting the question directly where she was supposed to. Kelvin, on the other hand, for a sales interview, I think he was a bit not, he wasn't, what's the word, coordinated in some of his responses. He didn't seem to really know much. Then again, he was an intern, but he didn't seem to really know much about what he was doing. There were questions he didn't know. I felt like he could have, played it. Even if he didn't know the answer, he could have said something as opposed to, oh my gosh, so yeah, body language, everything. It was obvious that you were not prepared for it. And then he said something about vision statement. Right. See, it's not enough to just throw, vision statement of the company. Say it so that they actually know that you actually know what the vision statement is.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So I think, Maturayo, it was mostly the length of your answers. Most interviewers don't have the patience. So it's always good to keep it brief and concise. With Kevin, I think it's just the ability for you to think on your feet. Many of you are going to be doing interviews. It's critical that you open up your mind to learn far and wide. And I always try to say this, you should be able to answer anything from astrology to zoology. Because sometimes what might tick somebody on the panel in the right place might be even a sport. You can go for interviews for a particular role and find people talking about the weirdest possible things. But it's not weird. They're only just trying to see the ability for your mind. For instance, when I threw to you about my friends, I was giving you an hint. I thought you were going to start mentioning the name of billionaires in the country. I even gave you a hint then when I said Alhaji Aliko. I thought you were going to jump at it and say, okay, we also do Mike Adenoga, we also do Mr. Tony Elumelu. At that point in time, you would have won me over. But job well done. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you. Please, a round of applause for our panelists. Thank you so much. Can you help me get the chairs off? So they hit on a few things I noted as well. So for Kelvin, it was just the confidence. It's not that you didn't have content. Yes, you were not quick in thinking about the questions that were asked, but the truth is, remember what I said. You might not have looked good, but still be confident, right? So even if you came in, the way they saw you, it's creatives that dress the way you dress. So your thinking should have aligned with that you're a social media creator, content creator, or a social media handler. In fact, I almost whispered it into your ears. I said, no, let me see how you will think. Because this is how they look. They really don't want to dress up tight. Because when they're like this, they feel they are more creative and they can give you value. So you should have hit it from there on. So if that's what you do. So I was going to say to you that, what do you even do? Maybe you should speak to what you do. So sometimes, don't always expect that all the panelists will be nice. There would always be a difficult one there. So I heard you guys murmuring, why? See, there will always be a difficult one. Don't expect them to be all nice. But the most important thing, like I mentioned earlier, is that know your game. Own it. Own that stage. Anything they ask you, whatever direction that conversation is going, you to jump on it. Sometimes they just want to see how socially intelligent you are. It's not just about the competence of, I'm a professional. There are some other spheres of our lives that we also bring on the job. So that intelligence is very critical. Then for Fisayo, Motorayo, it was a good one, but take the feedback Chris gave. Don't make the answer too lengthy. They are not patient enough to just hear you talking and talking. We don't even like people that talk too much. But if you are straight on, getting to the point, engaging and is interesting, you would find them asking you more questions. But when you've taken it over and you are the one just going on and on and on, just can this person just finish up on time, and you see them funding their phones or doing something else. They've lost you or you've lost them or whatever has happened. So please, let's take those feedback. Does any other person have any feedback on them? Quickly, I'm pressed with time. If not, we can move forward. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so now you've gotten on that job, right? Don't worry, let's take it another step. Congratulations. I wish you all the best in your on this new journey. Okay, so at the beginning, which is your 0 to 2 years, where you're just getting on the job, you are still testing the waters. You don't even know, maybe you're left from right. They're throwing so many things at you, and you're getting it all done. So the 0 to 2 years, you're not expected to have any experience. That's where an intern falls. So the panelists throwing such questions at an intern, I just want to see how knowledgeable the intern is. You know, at least do a research. Like I mentioned earlier, do a research, be trendy, know things that are emerging, be it in politics, be it in health, anything at all. Even if it's the basic information that you have, it will help a long way. Always also bear in mind that they are also there to learn from you. You might know certain things that they don't know. So they also want to learn it. Nobody has it all, okay? So when you get to that point, you're already thinking, I've stayed here too long, 2 years, I've done 2 years, I want to try something new. This often happens to creatives. They get bored easily. They want to try something new. So you move on. And it's natural for even entrepreneurs. They just want to test, invent new things. Like, okay, we've done this over time. We've succeeded in it. What's the next game we need to play to continue creating this wealth? So you're accelerating, right? But when you are doing all of that, make sure you are not faster than the expected pace. It's good. Some people are high potentials. They move pretty fast. In fact, they do beyond what you think they can. They have capacity to do more. So please, it's also important as business owners, because I believe that we have a few business owners here, even though you are still at the startup phase, be good enough to identify the potentials that your team members have or the people working with you have, and then you help them develop it. These are some of the things that helps people be patient and stay in an organization to develop themselves and build a career with you, you know, because they enjoy that work relationship. So many things can keep people in an organization, right? It can be pay, people, the place. It can be anything at all, but it differs for everyone. So you're moving on now. You've done 4 to 6 years, right? And the next pace you're moving to, I need to step down, sorry. So the next place you are moving to is then, at that point, you are leading a team. It might be at a supervisory level. It might just be, just to check because you've started it earlier. You know it better than who is coming behind you. So you've stepped up. You're now an analyst or a lead. It does not mean that you are approving certain things. No, you're just checking. You're just being prepared for the next phase. Because as you're rising through the ladder, you're starting off as a beginner into a leadership role, right? So that being said, you've now spent 6 to 10 years. Your aspirations then becomes that of a manager. You're no longer you're no longer testing the waters. You already know what your trajectory would be. You've made that decision, and you're on that journey. You've set that goals for the career goals for yourself that you must achieve within XYZ. So you keep moving on, and then you reach the peak of it, right? Getting to that peak of it, you've already spent how many years on that journey? About 10 to 12 years on that journey. At that time, things will begin to change. It's no longer business as usual. Your error level must reduce. At that time, your error level must reduce. Your attention to details must increase at the same time. So let's just go to the next phase. Let's bring it to life. I tied it to my profession. Sorry. Next slide, please. Okay. So, the HR function is really broad. So you can't know it all. That's why we have some to be specialists, some are generalists. But the specialists are driven towards just one aspect of HR. It might just be recruitment or talent acquisition, as it's fondly called these days. And that's the only thing they will be doing. They will be expert in, they know it end to end. And that's the only thing they will know. But the generalist knows everything about the competency areas of HR, right? So let's assume that at this phase now, do we have any HR professional in the house? So I'm alone. Oh, no. Oh, okay, I do have one. Okay. So let's assume this person is starting. Maybe this is me now. Okay. I start off as a generalist. I'm combining all of this. Okay. There are stages of development for every of this function. Maybe at the beginning, as an employee relations, I'm only managing your attendance at work, or when you're on leave, you're not feeling well, you're not here, you're not there, I'm checking on you, your welfare and all that. At a point in time, will begin to, after you grow through that phase, you move up the ladder, and then you're beginning to look at that employee relations from another angle, not at that basic level anymore. What else? How best can this impact on the business? What's the impact of employees' welfare on this business? How well are we doing? How well are our people doing? You're thinking outside the box. You're thinking beyond just the basics. So for every of these functions or competency areas, you are moving through the through the stages, right? Your thoughts will be different. What you did 2 years ago that was forgiven might not be forgiven by the time you're on your 6th year. That's when queries will be flying in. You wonder, is it not just this? It's more than that. By the time you measure the impact, then you will see that it's actually more than that. So a lot of risks that you'll be exposed to, don't be afraid to take them. It's not easy being a leader. It's not easy rising through the ranks. You will go through difficult times, but you would come out a champion. Okay, let's move on quickly. I'm pressed with time, but we must finish this. Okay, so before you play this video, I want us to understand certain things, that getting into an organization might not be the challenge, but staying in that organization might be the major thing you need to focus on. A lot of organizations are performance-driven. In fact, a lot of successful organizations are performance-driven, right? If they are not performing, if they are not working, you cannot envy their success. I'll get there. But what keeps such organizations to keep thriving, right, cannot be taken away from the contributions the people, the talent it has, bring to the table. Now, the attitude of those people would also determine how far the organization would go. I'd like us to take some learnings from the Eagles' attitude in this video. Are we ready? Okay, media, are you ready, please? You can play the video. So please take notes. We're learning a lesson from the Eagle on the attitude that can keep us to consistently thrive. Audio. There's no audio. Hold on, please. Quickly. I hope I'll get this time back. Maybe you can put a microphone to the laptop. If the sound is coming from the laptop, you can put it. Okay, maybe while we are on it, we can come back to the video. We can move to the next slide. You can test for the sound. Let me move on. We'll come back to the video. Let's move on. Let's move to the next slide. Be sure that it's not muted anywhere. Okay. So, so for this one, can you help me go to Mentimeter? We're going to play a quick game. We're going to play a game quickly. No, not yet. Let's stay on the game. No, go on the gamification slide. Yes. So, please go to menti.com, but I want us to project the outcome here. All right, hold on, please. I want to ask us a question, menti.com. I want to know why would you join an organization? Hold on, please. So you go to menti.com, though there's a QR code. If it's projected here, you can just scan the QR code, but nonetheless, you can go to menti.com, and then you put the password. Can someone help me dictate the password from there? So it would be nice to project that one so everyone can see. We can see the outcome real time here as we are putting in our entry. Are we on menti.com? Okay. So Can someone help me dictate the password from there, the passcode from there? It's right on that slide, the first slide. Lolade, can you help me? Sometimes technology has a mind of its own, even though it's supposed to. Okay, great. Okay, so let's can we scan this? Can we scan the QR code? Once you're there, just answer the first question. The first question says, why would you join our organization? I hope I'm right. How do you think? No, that's the last question. The first question. Is that what came through? Oh, okay. How do you think you can contribute to the success of the organization? Okay, please put in your response. Please click on present. Whoever is helping me should please click on present so we can see the... Oh, there's no internet. Okay. Sorry. Let me... Are you putting in your responses? It will come through now. Sorry about that, please. Yes. I think it's connected now. Okay. Okay, so please click on present. It's taking a while. Okay. Okay, so we have few responses. You can move now. I think everyone has gotten in. They have the QR code already. So this should have been the first question. Did you put in the passcode? Well, let's refresh. Let's start again. This should be the first question. So scan this and then you put in the QR code. But if it's not the first question, it doesn't matter. We'll go on. Okay, so next, please. Next slide, please. Right. So what do you consider before joining an organization? It's just one person that has, yes, the responses are coming in. Someone says culture. Someone says I'll consider the value and the vision of the organization. Money, with an exclamation. The values and culture. More responses, please. Are we still thinking? The value, culture, alignment with my vision. Values and vision of the... Okay, so we have a lot of values, alignment with my goals in life. The pay, work culture, work flexibility, alignment with my goals. More responses? Okay. Before joining an organization, I will consider mission alignment. Oh, that's a... Okay, mission alignment, company... this is story... Hey. Remember what we said about keeping it simple? I can't even read it anymore. Okay. Will it improve the society, company goals, and work-life balance, the work culture? Say that again. Okay. Culture, employee experience and growth, benefits, profitability, and all that. Okay. All right. So we have a lot of people saying the alignment with their goals, culture, organizational culture is very, very important. You must learn that before you go in. Some organizations that have a toxic environment and, with the high volume of mental wellness cases, I wouldn't advise that we jump into such because it might not be healthy for us. But it's good you make your research properly to know the kind of organization you're going to and learn about the culture before you go in. Okay, next question, please, quickly. Okay, so what would make you stay in an organization? Please keep it short and simple. One word that will make you stay in an organization. What will make you stay in an organization? And sometimes the environment might be very good, but then you have bad managers. So sometimes it's the bad managers that would make people leave the organization. They really want to be there. People want to be there, but if they have a toxic line manager, really, they will leave. Okay, more money. This person. Okay, salary, still money. Money, salary increments will make you stay. Money. They should sing my praise, please. What else? Growth and less toxicity. Good employer and good environment. Good management, the work environment. Benefit and value, the pay and the value it adds to my career goals, also the work environment. Okay, good. Good leadership. Okay, great leadership. All right, so maybe we should play all the games now and then go back to the video, because how we navigated through was a bit time consuming, and I don't want that to repeat itself. So let's go to the next question. Let's just play all the games now. What does business success mean to you? Please think, then speak. Now you think, then type. What does business success mean to you? Okay, the responses are coming in. Growth, achieving the set goals, and achieving the goals set by my employers. Okay, achieving set goals per time, ability to replicate results and make positive impacts. Okay, being able to solve the actual problem the organization was meant to address. Excellence and productivity. That's business success. Okay, that's what it means to you. Happy customers. Good thinking. Happy customers, because you're actually in business to provide a service to some set of customers. So if your customers are not satisfied, then you're not in business, because you're in business because of them. So if they are not deriving satisfaction, then it's as good as not running a business. Achievements and being, I can't see that, you might need to scroll. Achievements and being able to solve problems. All right, good responses, good thinking, but I want to believe that after now we'll begin to open up our minds and, have a mindset shift. So last question on the game. Okay, this had already been responded to. I think we started off with this earlier. How do you think you can contribute to the business success of an organization? By adding value through my acquired skill, handwork, and consistency. My passion, I'm very driven and will do everything possible to make the company better than I met it. Fantastic. Let your impact be felt. Don't just pass through and when you resign, they're happy that you're going. No. They should not want to release you early enough. I'm just saying, I'm not saying you should die there, but at least add value that it's so difficult for them to let you go. Okay, I can contribute to the success by gathering user requirements, asking right questions, and being proactive. Good. Being imperative with my ideas and methods, collaborating effectively with other members, showing dedication, and assuming continuous learning. Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you for the games. Let's go back to the video now. Do we have the audio? Great. Quickly. There are 2 videos I would like us to watch, even if I don't...
If you want to have an attitude, have an eagle attitude.
Okay, so pause it. Great. We have a sound now. So can we watch the video quickly so you can disconnect the gamification? So attitude. You hear that a lot. Attitude is everything. Your competence can get you the job, but your attitude will determine if you stay long on that job or not, or how long you stay on that job. Okay? So let's watch this.
If you want to have an attitude, have an eagle attitude. Don't be a parrot in life. Be an eagle. A parrot talks way too much but can't fly very high. But an eagle is silent and has the power to touch the sky. Have you ever noticed an eagle making noise or speaking while he is flying in the sky? No, never. He silently fly high in the sky and focus on his target. There were a lot of birds fly in the sky. but they all make noise and talking. Their attitude is to stay together in lower altitude, but an eagle's attitude is different from other birds. His attitude is not to stay together and not to fly with other birds. An eagle flies alone in the sky. He always aims to fly high more than any other birds. He flies so high in the sky so that no one can disturb him, no noise can reach him or to distract him or hurt him. So I'm going to tell you 3 lessons from eagle on silence. Number 1, eagle loves silence and avoid negativity. When a crow sitting on the back of an eagle, biting the eagle as it is flying, try to disturb him, the eagle does not fight or respond to crow. It simply opens up its wings and begins to rise higher and higher in the sky. The higher the eagle flies, the harder it is for the crow to breathe. He can't breathe in the high altitude, and due to the lack of oxygen, the crow falls away, and the eagle becomes free from the pain and disturbance. Friends, our life is as same as the eagle. There are many crows in our life, and so many crows will come in future in your life. The crow represents all the haters, problems, distraction in your life. And the eagle represents our silently moving forward attitude. When people criticize you, when life challenges you, when there seems to be endless problems pecking at you, don't focus on them. Don't try to louder your voice and prove them wrong. You can't make them silent, or you just can't stop them criticizing you by talking or arguing. Instead of that, be silent and focus on flying higher, like that eagle. If you fly high, every problem will fade away. Every negative people will vanish. If you fly high, no noise would be able to disturb you. Challenges would come to hurt you, but if you choose to fight them, it would waste your precious energy and you will get nowhere. But if you soar higher like an eagle, you will watch all of your challenges fade away. Every time you face challenge, be silent, go higher and focus on you. Every time someone criticizes you, be silent, go higher and focus on you. Every time a crow appears to disturb you, be silent, go higher and focus on you. They won't stay around for so long because they will not be able to breathe at your level. Most challenges disappear when you go higher. The real power of an eagle is in its clear and focused mindset, in its silent attitude, in its wings. If he did not focus, he can't fly higher. If he did not go silent, he can't fly higher. If he did not open its wings, he can't fly higher. Similarly, if you did not have a focused mindset, you won't be able to learn. If you did not become silent, you won't be able to focus. If you did not open your wings, you won't be able to fly higher in life. Number 2, eagle love the storm. There is a very famous quote of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He said, all birds find shelter during a rain, but eagle avoids rain by flying above the clouds. Problems are common, but attitude makes the difference. Have you ever noticed when a storm comes, an eagle uses it to fly higher? It doesn't scream or make noise. He just simply becomes silent and fly high. He enjoys it. But other birds in the storm, they just freak out. Problems and challenges will come in life. They're essential, but it's your attitude that makes the difference. It's up to you, would you fight it or would you avoid it? Eagles avoid all the rain and problems in life. You just silently focus on flying higher. And you have to do the same. When challenges appear in life, most of the people try to make excuses. They go busy complaining. More importantly, they freak out. They can't stay silent and focus on them. But if you focus on being silent and fly higher, instead of focusing on the storm or problem or challenges, no one can stop you going higher in life. No one can stop you achieving your dreams and goals in life. So be silent and love the storm and learn from it and avoid it just like an eagle. Number 3, eagle fly alone. Don't be a parrot in life, be an eagle. A parrot talks way too much and can't fly high, but an eagle is silent and has the willpower to touch the sky. Eagles don't fly with parrots. Eagles fly alone. But why? There is a saying, you become like the people you spend time with. If you spend time with people who are positive, driven, and ambitious, you are more likely to adopt those same traits. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who are negative, unmotivated, and complacent, you may start to adopt those same behaviors and attitudes. That is why eagles don't fly with parrot. An eagle knows that No birds can fly at his level. He knows he's the king of the sky, and it is meaningless to fly lower to spend time with parrot. Similarly, never go lower to spend time with such parrot and narrow-minded people. Fly alone but fly high. Don't be afraid of being outnumbered. Eagles fly alone, pigeons flock together. That is why Steve Marable once said, if you're going to hang out with chickens, you are going to cluck. And if you hang out with eagles, you are going to be silent and fly high. So fly alone but fly high. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you really liked it, then make sure to subscribe to this channel and share this video as much as possible.
All right. Any lessons learned? Or you people were liking the video, you do not note the lessons. Lessons have been learned, noted, right? Yes, so difficulties would come on the job, but how you handle them is what makes the difference. Don't be scared to be unique. They will talk about you, this person is this person is that. Be yourself at every point in time. Be open-minded. Don't roll with shallow-minded people. It's not pride. It's just knowing who you are, right? It's just knowing who you are and exercising that power. So let's just move quickly now. Next slide, please. Now, remember what I said about the power of the mindset. The eagle has a mindset, and he is not afraid to be alone in that terrain as long as it's flying high and soaring high and keeping the eyes on its eyes on the goal, remaining focused. As long as you're achieving your goals, forget the distractions. They would all come. They will always come. So forget the distractions, remain focused, and you would achieve that. So in terms of power of the mind, I thought to bring this home that, remember what I said, that it's okay to dream big. Dreaming is not the problem. Everybody can dream, but bringing those dreams to reality, bringing it to work is what is important. So I thought to encourage us in dreaming big and opening our minds towards achieving greater success, I have a few quotes here to share with us, and also some brands, right, that connotes the big dream notion I'm talking about. So I'll just read through. The first one is Eleanor Roosevelt. Do we know who that is? Yeah. What did I hear? Yes. Oh. Do we? Who is she? Huh? Anyway, she's a political figure in America, okay? Great. So she said, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. A lot of us dream, but probably we don't believe in it. Probably we don't believe it. We don't believe we can achieve them. We are scared. We are scared of those dreams. But on the third, on the 1, 2, 3, the third bullet, Ellen Johnson, that's the former Liberian president, she said, if your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough. So don't be scared. Dream big. Dream big. And the reason I would like us to dream big is because if God can create this entire universe, in how many days? In how many days? And you've lived on this earth for how long, please? Yeah. So nothing should stop you. Nothing should stop you. It's not, just keep dreaming and work at them. So let me just go back to that one. The second one now. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. We watch a lot of movies now produced by Walt Disney, right? So I'm sure, please try as much as possible to read their story. See how that company grew. Okay? So you have to pursue them. Don't just dream. And the third one says, by Brian Tracy, the author, says, all successful people, men and women, are big dreamers. They imagine what their future could be, the ideal future in every respect, and then they work every day, not sometimes, not once in a while, every day towards that distant vision, that purpose or goals, every day. The scripture says, write the vision and make it plain, right? And then you must follow it through every day. Bear it in mind that this is where I'm going, and remain focused. A lot of distractions will come, trust me. We even have a lot of them in our society right now. But please remain focused. And lastly, from my very own boss, he says, everyone dreams. It is the easiest thing to do. I agree. Don't you agree? It is the easiest thing to do. But what is important is not the ability to dream, but how you translate that dream into reality. So you have to keep working. Remember what I said, that hard work does not kill. Hard work does not kill. Now, what comes to mind when you see this first check logo? Nike, what's their slogan? Exactly. Just do it. Dream it, do it. Just do it. There's this confidence it gives you when you wear Nike sneakers, right? So just do it. So I'm just letting us understand that it's not just about dreaming. We have these things. We have people who dream and then pursue the dream. What comes to mind when you see Disney? Movies. Dreamland. And then they say dreams come true. Dreams come true. So you can actually live those dreams. And then what comes to mind when you see that black one? Apple. What comes to mind? What comes to mind? So you people are just using these things. You don't resonate with some of their... What comes to mind? Think different. Think different. Remember the video we just watched about the eagle. The eagle is playing in his own field and is not bothered. As long as the eagle knows that there's a higher dream, there's a higher focus, there's a higher target that must be achieved. So think different. It's okay to be the only different person in the room. Next slide, please. Okay. Let's see the game players. How many people do we recognize on this slide? How many people? There are about 7 of them, but they have a lot of things in common. How many of them can you recognize? 4. All. All, okay. Okay, so we can just tell me, what do you think these people have in common? Money. Oh, wow. The way we are thinking about money these days, I hope when you hit your first billion, you won't throw a party. You will reinvest. I'm hearing I'm hearing Some people are planning to call, what's this guy, Flavor, to come and play for them on that day once they hit their first billion. No. So apart from money, what do you think they have in common? Industry leaders, yes. Yes, they are big dreamers, but there are something before all these other things are coming. They are entrepreneurs. They run businesses. They started off with probably one. But before they started running their own businesses, they had worked. Remember what I said? God created us to do what? To do what? You people are not with me. Is it to do jobs or to work? They have worked. They have laid good foundations for themselves. Their generations cannot suffer in the next 5-10 years. In fact, maybe forever. Because they've built legacies, business continuity, which is very critical. That's why I say when you hit your first billion or million or whatever, don't be quick to lavish it. Reinvest. Recreate wealth. That's what they do. They recreate wealth. Once you've made profit from this, invest it into another business that is aligned with your passion. If you don't know much about it, make inquiries. Get people that understand it, not 419ers though, please. Get people that are intentional about that, know these things well. And these leaders are achieving great success through people, intelligent people. People that know what they're doing, that are passionate about what they're doing. Right? And they pay attention to things that are important to them. These guys work hard. I know sometimes people say, oh, maybe they didn't want to reach out. Forget it. Don't ever get yourself engaged in such conversations because God has deposited into all of us great capacities. So it's left for us to utilize them to the best of our abilities. So let's move to the... You people are not even saying something. It's just one woman that is amongst them now. Okay, I just had to say that. Okay, so now what are those, for every entrepreneur, they have certain things in common. Yeah, coming down, my time is almost up. They have something in common. Okay, thank you. Let me use the street language. They are hustlers. They are hustlers, right? They are always hardworking. They are looking for more businesses. They are collaborating. They won't say, they won't feel too big that, no, I can't. They are not in competition with each other. They just want continuous success, right? They are visionary leaders. They envision things. They plan ahead, right? And they invent things. They might just wake up from their sleep and some things will just cross them and just write it down. Does that thing happen to any one of us in this room? You are imagining some certain things and you're sleeping and you're thinking, let me write this thing down before I lose it. It happens. So you're okay. You don't have any mental issues. Everything is fine. It's just that you're dreaming big and you're trying to achieve it. Okay? They are explorers, right? I put something that they're evangelists. They go about telling people about their achievement and how they can even do more about it, okay? And they're unstoppable. You can't stop these ones. They've started it. There's nothing you can do. You can't stop them. They're conservative. The people that have not made as much money as they have made are the ones you see wearing all sorts of designers and flashing it in your faces. But you hardly see those people dressed in that manner. Very simple-looking people, but they are expensive. Right? But they are conservative about it. They don't go off showing off. Okay? And they're very resourceful. They take risks. They are flexible. They are adaptable. Okay, they've told me I have a few minutes, so let's move quickly. I think I have another video. Can we move to the next slide, please, quickly? Okay. So, now, when we succeed in our career journey or our business journey, it is important to know how to manage that success. Now, these big players that I showed you are seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly side of their success. Nobody throws a stone at a fruitless tree. If that tree does not have any fruit on it, nobody, who's going to be interested? Nobody. But when you see a fruitful tree, a lot of people want to eat from that tree, whatever it takes, even if it takes them destroying that person. Because if you're going to pluck a fruit from the tree, if you're, maybe, is it stick or whatever you're going to use to pluck it, some know how to climb the tree and then get it. Sometimes the fruit would have been damaged because you're trying to pluck it with the tree, and probably if it drops on the floor, it's damaged and then it goes bad. So what am I trying to say in essence? Success will attract all sorts to you. Dragging, social media, acceptance or rejection, scandals that you didn't even commit, they would come through. Everybody wants to identify with success. But if the person is not successful, if the person is a failure, who would come through to the person? Nobody. Who is interested? Nobody. Okay, so the good and the bad and the ugly would happen when success comes. Then, in making sure this success is maintained, you must keep valuable network because it will impact on your network. You've always said your network is it's true. Because at that time, a lot of things will change. The circle of friends you had then might not be the same kind of friends you have because you've had a mentality shift. How you're thinking would be different. So it's not going to be a case of, oh, he has abandoned us now because he's rich. That's not unfortunately, that's not what always happens. It's just that priorities have changed. But nonetheless, still keep around your corner things, create time for things that are important. There are people that have added value to your life that you really can't do without. People that will tell you the truth regardless of how you feel. People that would accept you for your flaws. People that would stand by you no matter how tough things are going. Please, hold on to such people. Friends, families, colleagues. Some colleagues can turn families. There are some very nice people. Okay? So pay attention to things that are important. Your health is also important because at that time, probably the hours of sleep would reduce. Okay, but please pay attention to your health so you can enjoy that wealth or success. Always be yourself. Don't try to impress anybody. Be yourself. Be happy. Stay happy. Don't be who you are not. Okay? And then lastly, okay, I think I've spoken about paying attention to your health. So let me wrap up now. I want to believe it's the video that is on the next slide so I can wrap up. In having a mentality, great. In having that mindset shift or the power of the mind, as I spoke about it, that it can determine how far you go in life, it's important that we learn about 7 lessons from the lion mentality. I'm sure that we all know that lion is the king of the jungle, right? Did anybody enthrone the lion as the king of the jungle? Did you say yes? Nobody did. The lion enthroned, is it itself or himself or whatever now, as the king of the jungle. Why? It has this mentality that regardless of what happens, I used to see one joke. No matter how hard things get in the jungle, the lion will never do what? Eat grass. There must always be a prey. And to think that God likened himself to that animal as the lion of the tribe of Judah. Come on. When it rose, this building to move from this point to maybe Agungi. Where's Agungi? You can't withstand the roaring of a lion. But I'd like you to learn the 7 lessons from the lion's mentality, and I hope that it will indeed bring about that mentality shift that would help you to continue to thrive for success. Can we play it now, please? Great.
Osho said the greatest fear in the world is the opinion of others. And the moment you're unafraid of the crowd, you are no longer a sheep. You become a lion. A great roar arises in your heart. The roar of freedom. Sheep have no freedom. The sheep live with fear and uncertainty every day. A sheep never leads. A lion never follows. A lion is in complete control of his or her life. The lion does not accept scraps and does not get told what to do or where to go. The lion goes about his business fearlessly and with extreme competence. You will never lead a lion to the slaughterhouse. They will lead you. The lion is the king of the jungle. And it's not because the lion is the biggest. It's not because the lion is the fastest. It's not because the lion is blessed with any great advantage over other animals. It's the mentality of the lion that makes the lion the king of the jungle. What is the lion mentality? Fearless courage. Bravery is a key trait of the lion. The lion never surrenders. The lion will never lie down and die, not even if surrounded by 10 hyenas. The fight is never over until it's over. Maybe you're not surrounded by hyenas. Maybe you're just buried by bills. Maybe you need to stand up for something you believe in that no one around you agrees with. Do not give up. Do not give in. Be fearless in going after what you really want in your life. Maybe you've been at it for years and nothing has worked yet. Maybe you're tired of hunting your goals and seeing no rewards. Do not give up. You must keep fighting. You have no guarantee of success if you keep going, but you do have possibility. There is a chance. The only guarantee comes with quitting, and that is the guarantee of missing out on the life you really want. Keep fighting for the life you must have. Regardless of the hyenas, no surrender.
Not done. That's the first lesson. That's the first lesson.
The lion is certain. The lion never second guesses. When the lion goes in, it goes in 100%. There's nothing half-hearted about the lion. How great could your life be if you lived with the certainty of a lion? What if you just started believing in yourself and your own abilities? How far could you go with unbreakable self-belief? Who could you become if there was no doubt in you? If you trusted your intuition and just went for everything you want in life with the same ruthless certainty as a lion hunting its prey. You can't rely on other people to achieve the results you want in your life. You are the only one responsible for your results. Take responsibility. Take ownership. Take action. Only you know what's best for you in your life. Only you know which path to take in each moment of your life. You must make those decisions with certainty. Freedom. The lion has freedom because the lion demands freedom. The lion has freedom because he fights for freedom. His very nature says he will die for that freedom. Perhaps there's no more valuable asset on this earth than freedom. Something you can only understand if you've experienced a lack of it. In your own life, you must fight for freedom. Your own and that of others. The freedom to speak your mind. The freedom to be who you want to be. The freedom to live on your terms. Freedom means fairness for all. The freedom to be who you must be while allowing others to be who they're going to be. There is no greater value. Fight for your freedom. Protective. The lion is protective of everything of value. The family, the pack, dinner. If you threaten anything of value to the lion, you better be prepared to fight. What do you need to protect? What are you willing to fight for in life? Not physically, mentally, emotionally. What are you willing to sacrifice your time for? What or who keeps you going? What is your purpose? What or who gives your life meaning? That is worth fighting for. Competence. Lions are said to sleep around 20 hours a day. Still, they never go hungry. They get up and they get the job done. They earn their rest. They earn their success. They earn their freedom. There are great rewards for competence. In life, if you provide more value to others than anyone else in a shorter space of time, you will be rewarded, and you will be rewarded well and often. It does not matter how long you work. It matters how good that work is. It doesn't matter how many hours you put in. It only matters how much value you've created. Develop yourself into a competent machine. Work on what matters in your life with laser focus, ruthless determination, and a burning desire to do everything to the very best of your ability. That builds pride and respect for yourself.
You might be smarter than me. You could well be stronger than me. You might have more luck than me. But you cannot defeat me. You will not detach me from my purpose. You will not distract me from my goals. You will not dethrone me. And you will never destroy me. I will wake up with intention, alert, ready, focused. Whatever I want, I go after. Whatever I go after, I get. If it matters to me, I will get it. I will have it. I will be it. You cannot defeat me. You cannot detach me from my purpose. You cannot distract me from my goals. You cannot dethrone me. You cannot destroy me.
And that's the lion mentality. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince and not confuse you that your destiny lies in your hands. Achieving great success lies in your hands. You're the only one that can stop yourself. So be you, be real, achieve great success. See you at the top. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Please, a round of applause. That was a very packed session. I mean, I wish it could have been split even into a series. I was looking at some of the slides. I had to move closer, and I zoomed in. I'm like, there's so much detail, so much information. It shows that you really came with us in mind, and we're really grateful. A round of applause one more time. Thank you so much. So I'm just wondering. I want to believe that some of us might have questions or, concerns or something you just want to say. Anybody in the house, if you have questions right now, we can take a few questions. But if you know you don't want to stand up, you can also note them down. We'll be having a Q&A session later. Anybody? Okay, ushers, if you could please pass around sheets of paper for people to put down their questions. So in a few minutes, just for a few minutes, there's an opportunity for you to win something. I won't tell you what it is, but I'd like to invite Ebunoluwa forward for this segment. So if I were you, I'll put my ears to the ground. I'll listen carefully. See, she's got the package, the big gifts ready as she takes us through this session. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I say like you are excited now. Thank you, or else we'll no gift for you. Anyways, so this session is going to be very brief. I need 2 or 3 people very quickly. So I'll explain what I need for you to do before you volunteer. So you're going to sell an idea that is going to change the world, that you're already a part of, or that you're a set man of. Do you understand? So you're going to come out here for 1 minute each. We're going to time you. Can I have someone volunteer to time? I don't have my phone here. Thank you, ma'am. So we're going to time you for 1 minute. So I need 3 people, and then we'll have everyone vote the winner. We're going to have 2 winners, by the way. So very quickly, 3 people. You don't have ideas? Okay, Sally, thank you. Very quickly. Please come forward. Please, we don't have time. Very quickly, thank you. 2 more people. Or 1 more person. Is someone? Thank you. Only women. Anyways, is that right? Thank you. Please come forward. Come to the middle. Let's have the first person. So, sorry, please, what's your name? Victoria. Okay, so she's Victoria and she's Sally. Please come to the middle. There's a mic here. Please introduce yourself and what you're pitching before you start, before the timer. Middle, thank you. All right.
So how do I introduce myself? Good morning, church. My name is Salumi Adon, and I am a real estate consultant working with one of the leading real estate firms here in Lagos, Nigeria. And I'll be pitching on... Okay. And I'll be pitching on an idea that would change the real estate industry forever. Now, for a while, we've been selling lands. What we do, we sell land, sell properties, mostly in Ibadan and Ekpe. We've sold out 12 estates, but the status quo of those estates was we buy land, we sell, fence, gatehouse, people build or sell. But then we thought to ourselves, there's something missing. And when you look at Nigeria, you'd realize that we don't have many places where you can actually go and have proper fun. And I'm not talking about Kellogg's, I'm not talking about DNA, I'm talking real fun, recreational fun. And we thought to build something really exceptional, and we call it the jungle. This jungle would house the very first glamping site in Nigeria. And the glamping site is...
Time up. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Please let's give a round of applause. All right. So the next person, you have 1 minute. Thank you. Please introduce yourself then. The time will start.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Obe Victoria, and I'm a student of biochemistry from the University of Lagos. So what I'll be pitching on is health insurance. It has actually been an issue for me because most people don't know about their health insurance, like the way they can minimize out-of-pocket spending for their health payments. So I and my team as a back-end developer, I'm currently working on that, and that's what I'm just wanted to talk about, that how we can help the WHO achieve their purpose of reducing out-of-pocket spending. And I hope you use our app, and then I hope to also get people that know more about health insurance to come and partner with us. Thank you.
Thank you. So if you want to partner with Victoria, please see her after the summit. Thank you so much, Sally and Victoria. So since we have just 2 people, we're not going to be voting, of course. We salute your bravery. You're women of great status. You're lionesses. So, okay, I don't want... Minister Aranti, please. Thank you. So we will be presenting these gifts to them. Please build up on your idea and change the world. We're rooting for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ebu. We're grateful. Okay, everyone, I want you to do something very quickly. We're going to do 2 things. If you could all please grab your phones wherever you are, and let's scan the code. So the code is going to lead you to where you register. I want everyone to please register again. I know you probably did that earlier, but let's just ensure that we'll please scan the code and let's put in our registration. Yes, so we're moving on very, very fast, right? Now, this next phase, so I actually had the honor of listening to him. I've had 2 encounters, one directly, one indirectly. The first direct one was we both took a course together, right? Called NGBTI, New Generation Bible Training Institute. And by the way, it's a very insightful course where you get trained for ministry and preparation. And we had really great teachers come lecture us, people who have gone ahead of us in the faith, in their faith walk. And I remember that, he had to give a speech, and I was like, wow. During the Viva session, I think that's what it was called. He had to give a speech, and I was quite impressed. And my second encounter was actually when I saw his name on the flyer for Nextgen Business Summit. And I put up the post on my social media platform. And I remember that my boss at work, I was feeling giddy. She said, oh, I know him. She was super excited. He stays on my estate. And I was like, oh, wow. I know a star too, So it's my honor this afternoon to make welcome Mr. Christopher Omojade. Please don't get up yet, sir. He'll be speaking to us. Sorry, media. I'm taking too much of your time, right? He'll be talking to us about cultivating values, grit, resilience, and adaptability for lasting success. So let's get ready. Let's get our pens and let's get our notepads as we stay inspired.
Christopher Ehinomen Omoijiade. Christopher Omoijiade is a visionary leader known as CEO. He's a powerhouse professional with over 2 decades of experience, driven by a relentless passion for igniting leadership potential and propelling individuals towards success. Chris thrives in his multifaceted roles as an entrepreneur, engaging speaker, dedicated mentor, insightful coach, and innovative consultant. Chris's expertise encompasses a powerful combination of management consulting, corporate training, and services. He leverages his in-depth knowledge and honed skills in leadership coaching, personal effectiveness, success principles, strategic planning, and people management consultancy to empower individuals and organizations to achieve their full potential. His diverse clientele includes government agencies, businesses of all sizes, educational institutions, and various organizations, both locally and internationally. Chris Omoijiade is a dedicated minister, a proud graduate of the Koinonia School of Ministry. He holds a diploma in theology and ministry from the Remnant Christian Network Adulam in Makurdi, Benue. He leads the Arimathea Believers Network, a ministry empowering individuals to integrate faith and purpose in the marketplace. Christopher Omoijiade is a prolific author and has penned insightful books like Get Ahead, You Can Be Debt-Free, In Your Hands, Gatekeepers, amongst many others. Chris's books focus on offering practical guidance for success and wholesome living. Christopher Omoijiade is happily married and is a proud father of 2 sons. He finds joy and balance in his vibrant family life in Lagos, Nigeria. Please make welcome Christopher Ehinomen Omoijiade.
Please sit down. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. You know, when my sister Moji said the introduction was quite insightful, I didn't understand. I think this is the first event in a long time that my own introduction is inspiring me. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here. First things first, thank you, House of Wonders, for having me. Pastor, it's good to be here again. I feel like I'm with family members, so I really appreciate each and every one of you. I'm not going to take too much of your time. I'm just going to rush through it. But before I do, quick word of prayer, if you don't mind. Father, we bless you. We thank you. I ask that you prepare these hearts, O Lord. Let them be fertile ground to be able to receive the seeds. And let this tongue be like the pen of a ready writer. In Jesus' name, amen. So, Nextgen, thank you for having me. I have the unique privilege of speaking to quite an array of individuals every other week, month, and year. And when I got the topic, I found it quite insightful because it's in line with most of what I speak and what I do. Cultivating values, grit, resilience, and adaptability for lasting success. You know, when Fumi sent me this, I just said, you know, you're setting me up. Because this grandma, she said to me, you're a lawyer, you can handle it. Go ahead. I said, I could find it much shorter. So my session is going to be filled with more stories. And because of the limited time we have, please just, even if it's just one story that resonates with you, I want you to run with it. So I'm going to be telling you more stories. Is that okay with everybody? I know we all like stories, don't we? Good. The very first thing I want to emphasize is that God actually wants you to be a success. I want you to settle that in your mind. He genuinely wants you to be a success. And I often would always remind myself that the reason why as believers, a lot of us struggle with success is because many of us have not imbibed some certain disciplines that are necessary to also enjoy that success. And because God is not a reckless father, he would not dish out what you're not prepared for or what you can't handle. So I'll give you an example. I have a loving father, by the way. And I told that growing up, I had such a sweet tooth. I still do. Even as I speak to you right now, I have biscuits in my wardrobe right now. And you know it, I do. I'm not kidding. And I've done 3 dental visits in the last month trying to sort out a root canal. Extremely very painful, as you can expect. But the origin of that goes back to a loving father who, at every point in time, I'm told by my elder siblings that when little Chris would cry, they would shut him up with biscuits. So Chris grew up enjoying the biscuits, the fizzy drinks, and everything else. Now, Chris is an adult now, and he's forced to pay the price of a loving father who was only trying to do him well. Now, in the grand scheme of things, as loving as God is, he's not reckless. He wouldn't hand you over some things until you have the disciplines to be able to manage, to be able to expand, to be able to grow them. So what I'm going to do today is run you through some core disciplines that will help you. both life and business. Oftentimes, we often assume that the principles that we speak about on stage are only life applicable, they're only business applicable. But I stand bold to tell you that if you listen, it works both ways. There's no distinction whether you're going to apply it to life or you're going to apply it to business. It works both ways. Life and business, I like to liken it to a jungle. My wonderful sister there gave a very good, vivid explanation to you, speaking about the eagle and the lion. Life is a jungle. And if you understand the way jungles operate, for those of you who are inquisitive enough and watch some TV documentaries, you find out that it is the case of the fittest, it's the case of the strongest, it's the case of the fastest. And if you do not find your unique advantage in life and business, you will struggle. So the first thing I want to tell you is finding that unique advantage. In this jungle that we call life, it's unforgiving. In business, like she will rightfully tell you, it's extremely unforgiving. Nobody cares as much as you think that they care. In fact, guess what? People care more about themselves than you. So if you do not find your unique advantage, you will suffer. Now, I'm bringing it back home. I was supposed to come and speak about success, grit, and all the other elements. But I decided to tweak it a bit. Why don't we start from the end and bring it back to the beginning? What exactly is this thing that is success? First things first, everybody uses this word very sparingly. You know, people use this word, success. Everywhere you go, success, success, success. But the truth about it is that how can you achieve what you haven't defined? Many of you say, I want to be a success. Bruno Mars will tell you, I want to be a billionaire. Some people will equate their success with the money in the bank. That's a dimension of success. I think it was Michelle Obama who once made a reference, and she says, success literally is anything you make it out to be. The very first thing that I need each and every one of us in this room to first agree is, what exactly does success mean to you? I used to have a staff many years ago. Every time I spoke about a private jet, a house in London, a house in New York, he used to look at me in the most, and I mean real talk, in a very weird manner, like, house in New York. He was content with a house in the village and a house in a certain distant part of Lagos that you need to check the map to find out whether you are staying. And I mean, there was nothing wrong with that. I struggled with it for a while. I said, you should be ambitious. You should have thoughts of great dominance. You should think about all the choice capitals in the world. But guess what? As I grew older, I found out that that was his own definition of what he felt was success. Is it a nice little house somewhere, the family? Unfortunately, the social media world that we live in tends to define for people what success is, and they've not defined it for themselves. So guess what? It's a never-ending journey that they never reach the destination for. And anything you can't reach a destination for, you will suffer. What gives fulfillment to man is a destination. As believers, as most of us are, is the mere fact that we know that one day we'll leave this body, go somewhere. That's a destination. Imagine if the Bible didn't tell us anything and we're just supposed to float around. Many of us will not come to church or even believe in God. He has already given you an end to it. So what are those things that clearly define those principles? Like I said, she said, speak about grade, speak about values. So I'm going to start with values. But before values, I've spoken about success. And I found out that success is always intertwined with finding purpose. What exactly you're called for, what exactly it is that you're on this earth to do. Many years ago, I attended an amazing secondary school in Lagos. I used to speak quite a lot at the back of the class, speaking to one particular girl. She's married now, don't worry, and so am I. And she has kids, so do I. But I used to speak to her quite a lot. And one of my teachers got tired of beating me. He got tired of beating me. He would take a cane, beat. And you know those days in school, you probably cannot show any sign of pain, especially when it is female-related. You would have to, what those days say, chest it. So they will, and the man had the title of the best king in the school. So imagine those, they used to derive, in fact, right now I think that we should probe a lot of our teachers for what they put us through. But we still love them. He sent me off to the staff room. And for those of us that went to good Nigerian schools, you know that the staff room is not where students should be found. It doesn't matter what brought you there. For the fact that you are there, you're exactly. So you know one thing about teachers, they walk in there and everybody tends to donate. They don't care. You might have been sent there just because you were the best in class, that they don't care. And this man dropped his books. I'll never forget that day. And he said to me, Chris, you're going to debate. I thought that was weird. I mean, I was a young JSS3 student, and all I had, the idea of fun to me was going to play football after school. And now this man says I will debate. Cut a long story short, his influence in my life made me discover a purpose that I'm forever grateful and thankful for. Just because of one man that clearly saw something, built something, and worked on something. So my success often is tied to my purpose, and which is the ability to use my voice to transform individuals and businesses. Values. What kind of values can you really, really use to succeed in life and business? I picked a few that I'll run through. Carpe diem. What does that word mean? Pluck the day. A lot of us say, I want to be successful. Mother Teresa said, yesterday is gone, tomorrow has not yet come, today is all that we have. Let's begin. The unit of destiny is in time. You cannot truly scale up, whether it's in business or life. My wonderful sister gave you amazing billionaires who were there. If you run through all their lives, you find out that one thing none of them plays with is time. They don't play with time. I'll give you some stories when I get to time. But your ability to pluck your day, plan your day. Even though this sounds very basic, many of you may have heard these things before. But guess what? It's the most basic things that you have ignored that has caused you not to progress far in life. Pluck your day. What are your daily rituals? What are those things that make you excel? You know, oftentimes when I hear the story, I know your amazing pastor here supports an amazing football team that I'm not going to mention because we're streaming live. But the only clue I'll give to you is that they tried. They tried. As they usually do. They tried. So, Pastor, I had to just drop that. I honor you. They tried. But they tried. But there's another team that I support that, we had a trophy to show for it. We had a trophy at the very least. We had a trophy. And we're coached by one of the best managers who has ever coached a football team, ever. So I was reading his book once on leadership, and he spoke about, my team is, one of our sponsors is the Swiss watch brand called Hublot. And he spoke about attending a meeting at the Hublot headquarters in Switzerland once. And whilst he was there, he found out that there was an executive who got to the office about 5 a.m. He said he found it quite instructive. And because he is a leader par excellence, he had to ask this gentleman, why is it? And the man said, I have found out that leaders, regardless of whatever form you find them, understand the whole idea of plucking their day, carpe diem. They understand how they command the day. And the difference is clear. The second thing is choices and sustainable habits. You know, a lot of us make this whole idea about habits and choices as if it sounds very basic. But guess what? It defines everything about our existence as human beings. The habits that you form. Your brain is made up of pathways. And the reason why many of us struggle in terms of choices and habits is that we've not enforced them long enough till they become second nature. Many of you have friends on Instagram who show off about how many times they go to the gym. And it has now become a way of life. And they're enjoying it so much. And you're thinking to yourself, oh no, I can't wait. Guess what? A few months ago, I made up my mind on something. And I'm going to speak about it when I come to health. I said to myself that, you know what? You're getting old. I mean, I have an amazing 7-year-old whose birthday was yesterday, by the way. And yes, and I even this morning, I had to carry him on my back. And the bolts were tweaking. And I had to explain to this 7-year-old that I cannot carry you the way I used to. So you know what I said to myself? Nobody needed to tell me a few months ago. I said, I'm going to wake up and start with taking early morning walks. I'm going to take walks. I can convert it into prayer, Thanksgiving. I'm just going to take power works all around my community. And I wanted to enforce a discipline and make a choice. You know the time I picked for myself? 4:30 a.m. That's not a human time. There are witches returning from meetings. But I decided to myself that I needed to build a discipline that would be so difficult, but once I'm able to achieve it, makes the difference. So I will get up, literally, my wife, nobody's awake, and I'm walking on the streets, a safe place. And I literally found out that it's the most refreshing thing ever. Now, the best part of this habit was I decided to myself that every time I come back from that walk, I'm going to take a cold shower. Oh my. You want to know discipline? You know what it means to pour cold water on your body by 5:30? Trust me, it takes a lot. But I have found out that all of a sudden, my life is changing. I feel a lot better with myself. I feel that I can even do much more, not just because of one single choice or habit. So it's extremely important that you understand that choice is an habit. The consequences of your choices, you need to ask, will they bring happiness? Will they bring goodwill? Or will they bring evil? One of the athletes I absolutely love, Mamba mentality, Kobe Bryant of blessed memory. One of the things I love about that gentleman, for anybody who understood the stories, you must learn to study great people and what makes them successful at what they do. He was always the first person in and the last person out. I care not to know what area of or your sphere of influence. Anybody that's always the first in and last out will always be best. Today we see Cristiano Ronaldo in football. And all of us, I saw this amazing video. And I just actually found out that Cristiano doesn't have a YouTube page. Apparently, YouTube says that they cannot give him a page. You know why? Their entire money will go to Cristiano's page. Because already on Instagram, he is the most followed human being on the face of the earth. And amongst other social platforms. But it is all under a platform and a foundation of good habits that he has built over time. It's a machine at his age. Same with Kobe. So when you see people excelling, it's so easy to look at the glam. But underneath it, even in ministry, you find out that the fathers that we respect so much, underneath, there's so much when it comes to choices and habits. You must learn to build that. What else can you be able to say to yourself? Goal setting. I travel quite a lot, and I'm grateful for the opportunity because I think traveling is like probably the best form of education you can think. But every time I'm in a metal bird, that's what the plane is, 70, 80,000 pounds worth of metal, and everything looks like a tiny speck. You would appreciate God, though. When you're in that air, you don't appreciate technology. You will appreciate the laws of gravity and everything that keeps that plane up in the air. But when I think about those planes, and I think about those Wright brothers who one day said to themselves, we are going to fly, their neighbors would have told them, you are mad. You'd have told them, you're not. You want to fly like birds. Are you a bird? But thanks to those brothers today, we don't have to sail ships across. We don't have to do so many things that our forefathers did. Because why? Goals. The Greeks had a saying that they know that men are teleological beings. We are naturally goal-centered individuals. You want to be a success in life, and you don't have a goal. You saw the pictures of those amazing men. All of you were shouting, money, 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 money. There must be a goal somewhere. What exactly is yours? Moji stood up here, and I remember she was in the green room, and I was teasing her, and I said, we bump into many events. She introduces me to panels and whatnot. And I was saying to myself, I said, what is your goal? And I said, you're going global. You literally have that goal. There must be a goal. If you don't have a goal, you will suffer. It was J.C. Penney who said, you know what? Give me a store clerk. There's somebody that works in a store with a goal. I'll give you a man who will end up running the business. But if you give me a man clearly who doesn't have a goal, I'll give you a store clerk back in return. Goals are powerful. James Cameron said, if you set your goals so high, you would only fall back on the successes of others. I visited the amazing country of Singapore a number of years ago. And it was anything that kept me really humbled about that small country of less than a few million people, probably a quarter the size of Lagos in terms of population, not land mass. Tiny island. Tiny island. It was probably the neatest. It ranked maybe number 2 country, best countries I've ever been in the world. Because I couldn't fathom the fact that men, mortal men, could create a society that works like this. I said, no, this one's. By 4, 5 a.m. in the morning, the roads are clean. So I went to visit my younger brother who's schooled there. And I noticed everywhere was clean. He said, yeah, by 5 a.m., they would have cleaned the roads already for the next day. They don't sleep. But all of the Singaporean story rests on one man. Lee Kuan Yew stood up one day, promised his people a future they couldn't resist, and said, you know what? I will give you a country that when I am long gone, the rest of the world would envy you. He set an ambitious goal and said, you know, we're going to turn this little island. You know, back in the day, the Singaporeans, they used to carry animals inside their parlor. When you visit Singapore today, you will marvel about one man's goal. In fact, in his book, From Third World to First World, he visited Nigeria in 64, 65. He stayed at the Federal Palace Hotel, that same one you see on Amado Bello. And he wrote there in his book that he looked at us as a young country. We had just gained our independence. We were enjoying the beauty from being free from the British. And we were enjoying all of this. But he knew that there was problem coming because our leaders at the time clearly had no goals. We got our independence on the platter. And he put in the next chapter, or I think in the next paragraph, that sooner or later he wasn't surprised when the first coup happened. You must have your goals. Planning and execution. Planning and execution. Proper prior planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, if you want to make a success of in life and business, you must be not just a planner. Many people have plans, but guess what? Only few execute. Planning and execution. What else is extremely important in terms of values? Reputation. Proverbs 22:1 says, a good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. My always in secondary school used to have a big art morale of different quotes from the book of Proverbs. It's unfortunate that a lot of people are taking out kingdom from schools. But those days we grew up seeing those things and it was entrenched in our subconscious about how powerful it is to have a name. So I'm going to share something with you that is extremely very personal. But I'm with family and I don't mind. About our reputation is your resume in life and in business. In fact, I put here that the bank of credibility in this world, every withdrawal comes at a huge price. I went up to the US one day to win over a franchise. I used to be quite very ambitious, entrepreneur-wise. It was an ice cream franchise. And I came back home really excited that I had gotten on the next big thing. This was years ago. I approached an investor. Good friend of mine. He saw the financials. He knew that this was going to make money. We knew it was going to make money. But he said something that has stuck with me for the rest of my life. I had had a financial fallout with somebody that was a mutual friend of ours. And I didn't take it serious. You know how it is, you have a fight with a friend over money. And you just take it, okay, we've settled. But the person never forgot. So he said to me, Chris, I'd love to invest in this, but I feel uncomfortable knowing fully well that you had this fallout with this person. He hit me hard. I ended up realizing that this thing that we call reputation is a checkbook in this world that you're living in. The minute you burn that checkbook, you will suffer in life. A friend of mine was talking yesterday online, and he was talking about different currencies to spend. Money is not the only currency you spend, though. You can spend reputation. In fact, God forbid if money is the only thing you have. You can spend relationships. Before I came here today, there was somebody, a man of God, who reached out to me and said, I need a contact of so. He spent relationship. I said, call this person. It's powerful. There are brands in this world that are solely built when it comes to reputation. In fact, I always tease myself anytime I see St. Louis, a sugar brand, and I think about the fact that I don't see ads. And I find it strange that I grew up and they are still there. Where are the ads? You know what's selling that brand? Reputation. You don't see the ads anywhere. I grew up as a kid. That was it, the sugar cubes. And they're still in the store till today. Reputation is extremely, very important. The Japanese will tell you that the reputation of 1,000 years can be determined by a few seconds. Guard your reputation. What else is important? Good thinking. Critical thinking will get you very far. I always make this very funny analogy. I said, let me give an example. My great-grandfather, let's call him Paomojiade, very wise man in his village. And in England at that point in time, there was another man called Pa Newton. There were two men. They both sat down under trees. And you know what happened? A fruit fell. One in Ekboma in my village, and one in London or United Kingdom. And Paomojiade picked up the fruit and said, Osanobua, he took a bite and thanked God for a fruit that the gods had given him. But there's a certain man called Pa Newton who picked up that fruit. And you know what he did? He asked the question. The Cameroonians will tell you that you only get good answers when you ask good questions. He asked, why did this fruit not float? Why did it have to fall all the way to the ground? And the result is what you call today as the law of gravity. Critical thinking will get you so far in life and in business. Those that you see that are excelling, that you admire, you know what they are? They are critical thinkers. They're not passive. This generation, unfortunately, a lot of us are falling foul of this principle. We think that we think, but we are not thinking. Critical thinking is extremely important. You must be analytical. What else is very important? Learning and relearning. Michelangelo said, ancora impora. I'm still learning. When Michelangelo died and they went into his study, they found hundreds and thousands of designs work, architectural designs and all sorts of things. And that man was a pretty great man. I have his autobiography by Isaac Watson. And I always think to myself, he said to himself, he's still learning. Jude, what are you still learning after doing all these things? But guess what? The most successful in our midst never stop learning. Mrs. Ayani is there and our boss. I'm not surprised every time I go on Instagram, after seeing him, yoga, private jet, by the way, I admire all those. Then the next thing I see him in Harvard and Oxford, I say, Baba, you're still learning. They never stop learning. But if I ask some of you here, when was the last time you read a book? When was the last time you attended a course or a seminar? No. But if I ask others, what is the breaking news right now on G's blog, Nigeria? I'll get a huge response. You want to make it in life? You want to make it in business and you're not learning? It surprises a lot of people when I tell them that in a week, and I'm not saying this to blow my trumpet, I have testimony to show for it. I do book giveaways. The amount I invest in, my wife considers it strange, in books, in material, every week of my life. In fact, the delivery company, they no longer even wait to collect money. They just drop it. They know that the transfer will come in. I'm not doing it to show off, but I know that my strength, my advantage, which I spoke of in life and business, lies in how much I keep on building this. That's why during our short interview session that we did here, and I was tackling the wonderful rapper, Kevin Little, and I was telling Kevin Little about the fact that he needed to think on his feet. You know why? Life would give you space when you know where you are going. But in knowing where you are going, you must be empowered mentally. What are you carrying here? I once had an amazing, interaction. I was flying from Abuja to Lagos, and I bumped into a gentleman. I knew who he was. Very well-to-do, popular by our standards in this country. And he entered into the airport lounge. And me, I do not let opportunities slide by. You know what I did? I immediately beckoned on the lady in the lounge. I said, please give daddy a cup of coffee. She went and gave me. The man was wondering, like, oh, I didn't order. By the way, you also have to wake up and learn how to move around. You will struggle in life if you say that this is my superhero strength for me to stay by myself. So I told this man, he said, I now walked up to him. I said, good afternoon, sir. I was the one who, daddy said, okay. I said, but sir, for the price of your coffee, I only have a few questions to ask you. The man looked at me. He said, he beckoned and said, sit. So I sat. And you know, for some of us, that's the time you now say, okay, let me tell you, sir. When they gave birth to me, And when I was in church on Sunday, my pastor prophesied and said, I'll meet my helper. So now that I've met you, no. I went straight to the point. I said, sir, where you have reached, the heights you have reached, gives you a unique perspective to look back. If you had the opportunity to turn back the hands of the clock, what would you do differently? Huh? He took a sip and dropped it as if you have asked a hard thing. But he gave me a very good answer. I'm not sharing with you. Buy my next book. You see it there. And I went on and asked him 2 other questions. And when I was done, he brought out his complimentary card, scribbled something on it, and gave it to me. I looked at it and smiled. I had opened up an entire new world for myself. And I did not get home animated and say, sir, I'm that man that you saw at the airport. How are you? And how's the family? No. You must learn these rudiments on how people get ahead in life and business. Okay? So we move on quickly. What else is very important? Like I said, I spoke earlier on about your body. You want to make it life? You want to make it in business? All these people that you see, we see Mr. Tunu Elumelu. You think it's fun when you see him stretching and all of you are thinking to yourself, this man likes life. The man knows that he wants to live long and knows that the body he has is the only thing that can take him to his goals. Many of you now, you don't care about your bodies. You don't. Everything eats. Everything swallow. Everything goes in. Nothing goes out. You can't make it that way. There are a lot of people who have passed through this world. Every day, every week, every month, you're seeing people literally losing their lives. Young people from diseases that were known to belong to a particular age cadre. Learn to take care of your body. Emotional intelligence is also very important. You want to clearly, you know what emotional intelligence is? It's the ability for you to know your own emotions, the emotions of others, and how best to intermarry. Let me tell you, you want to make it in life. Go and learn emotional intelligence. I will help break it down a little bit. Go and learn native intelligence. You know what they call native intelligence? When you have sense that is bigger than your age. That's what emotional intelligence is. Some people are book smart, but they're not emotionally intelligently smart. And they struggle in the workplace. Because why? Emotional intelligence will help you get along with people. Many of you, my boss doesn't like me because you are not wise enough to be intelligent. I do very well at work. I deliver on all my targets. Are you? Imagine if she had, Miss Ayeni had an employee or a staff under her, and the person does not even know how to. Madam, you're looking very pretty this morning. I like your shoes. You say that person is foolish. Wait for the foolishness when the list of promotion comes. And he's saying they just like her. They just like her. All these people, you don't know what they do at night. We don't know what they do at night. See, you must learn emotional intelligence. Oh, there's nowhere in this world. I've said it. Oftentimes when I get called over and over again to come and speak on them, I always wonder, how come people don't know these things? I got called to speak at the Nigerian army to generals who were going to the next cadre of their rank and to speak about emotional intelligence. And I even found out that even the armed forces are beginning to wake up to the reality of the fact that they need emotional intelligence. In the workplace, if you look at the ratings from the World Economic Forum, you find out that the top 10 skills that are needed, emotional intelligence has been steadily rising for the last few years. And it's about, nobody cares about MS Word, MS Excel. Everybody, including my 7-year-old, can play with their computer now. But there's one thing that will remain timeless. Emotional intelligence. How do you deal with your own emotions? And it's just the way I am. It's my village people, when they touch my button, and you want to get far in life, and you want your village people. The man does not just like me, but you do not know and how to practice honor. It's extremely very important. Relationships. What else? Relationships. You know, I wrote a book about King Solomon and how he made his wealth. And I did a YouTube video on it. I sat down with the Holy Spirit to say, help me understand this man. Yes, he made money. They gave him a check. Is it that the next day, UBA appeared, or Zenith Bank, and they opened it? And by the help of God, I found out that he was more than that. He opened up himself so much that he created so many multiple streams. But one thing governed the wealth that King Solomon made. Guess what it was? Relationships. You will say the Bible will tell you how he made friends with his father's friend. Yeah, he did business with this person. He was selling horses. You know, the man was importer-exporter. Many of us believers run with the fallacy of thinking King Solomon, and God blessed him. How did God bless? He blessed him with intelligence and knowledge and wisdom to be able to use life-applicable principles to move himself and his kingdom forward. Solomon will buy horses from Egypt and sell it to somewhere. What is that? Is that not importing and exporting? Solomon, he had a rate card of how much it cost for you to sit down and listen to the wisdom he had. I visited Addis Ababa, and the only thing that crossed my mind when I visited the Addis Museum was I tried to trace the journey that Queen Sheba did all the way to meet this very wise man. And I thought to myself, this man must have been carrying real value, but he understood relationships. You are not going to make money alone. All of you were feeling money. You need human beings to bring this money to you. So relationships are important. What else are extremely very important before I go on to grit? I'm not going to take your time. I'm almost done. Grit, I put here, is a personality trait that is possessed by individuals who demonstrate passion and perseverance. You know, the world is filled with so many obstacles. Guess what? We're all adults in the room. Right from when your mother conceived you, that was the first time you showed grit. You know why? By the time that daddy did the needful, you and millions started what I call the $1 billion race on who we get to the finish line. Some decided to chill by the wayside. Some were watching Netflix. But you decided that I will get there. And you got here. But that is just a testament to show you how important grit is. Because guess what? The obstacles are waiting for you. And let me give you a few of the obstacles. Number one, mistakes will happen. Oh, trust me. Nobody's going to tell you or sugarcoat this one. You will make mistakes. The speaker in front of you today has made enough. But you know the beautiful thing about when you make mistakes and you're a believer? God has a way of turning and twisting it to make those mistakes diamonds. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made in my life had to do with money. Had to do with what? Money. And that mistake in the next few months is going to be born as a book. But it's only found, this flavor is only found when you're a believer in God, though. Otherwise, those mistakes, they will beat you senseless. But guess what? Mistakes will come. And don't ever for a minute think to yourself that once you make a mistake, that's the end of life. Oh, I'm done. I'm dusted. No. Why? Everybody has the ability to rebrand. The Arabs will always tell you that write bad things on the sand. You know why? Because it's easy to clean it off. So mistakes will come. What else will come? Crisis. In fact, the Greek word for crisis means to separate and to sift. Crisis will come. You know, I'm writing a book on leadership as well. And I was writing about the part of when the sons of Zebedee, the thunder boys, I like to call them, had walked up to Jesus with their mama and said, you know what, let one be on the left. Let one stay on the right. And Jesus Christ responded and said that, are you ready to drink of the cup? They said, yes. He said, no, you will drink. Even if you don't, you will drink this cup. You cannot pass it by. But the one about where you will sit in heaven, Baba God will handle it. Because Christ himself knew that crisis would always come. Crisis will come. Many of you sit down and you run with the fallacy and you believe that yourself, that you know what, because I'm in God, it's perfect. No. But the beautiful thing about being in God or when crisis comes, that he has given you a spirit that can see you through. And you will learn so much more from this crisis than any other thing else. Ask the greats. They all went through and had their seasons of crisis. Everybody we have. The most important thing I'll tell you about a crisis is never let a crisis go to waste. Barack Obama's chief of staff, his name was Rahm Emanuel, very smart man. He came up with that quote, never allow a crisis in your life go to waste. So you know what I do when I have a crisis? I write. And I later on found out that God too was allowing me pass through some certain things so that each time I scribble it, as 1 Corinthians will say, it is to save somebody else from the same thing as well. Because in God's economy, nothing is a waste. Even crisis. Are we together? Okay. The paper is coming for me to quickly round up. So resilience is the very last one we're going to talk about, which is the capacity to withstand. Maybe it might even be lunch is ready for me. Okay. Resilience is the capacity to withstand and recover from difficulties. Many of us here will understand that you will go through struggles. I don't know how many of you know the fish that's called the salmon fish. You know what's beautiful? Apart from the fact that fish tastes really good. You know the very thin one that looks like orange and red. It tastes really nice with cheese and the likes. Yes, I like food. I'm a foodie. But you know the good thing about that fish is that when you study the animal kingdom, whilst all other fishes tend to go with the current, that fish builds its muscles by flowing against the current. I said to myself, okay, that's why you are sweet. That's why you are not catfish. You are different. That's why you're expensive in the restaurant. You know, when you go to the restaurant, they tell you point and kill. Those ones are affordable. When you go to a restaurant, they tell you salmon. You start look and you look at the price tag. You ask yourself, okay, it's because why? That fish has gone through struggles. Important. Another thing that's very important, again, you would pay a price for success. And I don't mean sacrifice like Nollywood means. But you will pay a price. I want to be successful. What is the price that you need to pay? So let me share something of a spiritual nature. About a few years ago, I had this vision of the night. I love the way where the Bible uses vision of the night. So that it doesn't downplay the dream. It just tells you the vision of the night. Gives it these dramatic effects where you say vision. You just say, I had a dream, and everybody dreams now. But you know the beautiful thing about this vision of the night, and I share it to encourage somebody about paying the price, and I say it with all humility. In this vision, I saw a large cathedral. And in that cathedral, I saw a number of men manning that cathedral. And guess what was unique about them? They were all dressed in, you know the way you would think of, if they tell you, can you draw Father Abraham? You know what I mean? Long beards. And they were all dressed exactly in that regalia. But one thing struck me. I saw rows of seats. And there were men sitting on it from all walks of life. A few that I recognized from Nigeria. You know, so I looked at the seats. I'm like, this person here, this person here, this person all around. And all of a sudden, one of those men looks at me, and he could almost read my questions in my heart. And you know the next thing he would say is that there's a price to pay. I woke up from that vision of the night thinking to myself, oh Lord, help me to pay a price. He said there's a price to pay. So I'm admiring this man. I see him on TV. There is a price to pay. Okay. What else is extremely very important that I need to share with you before I jump off your stage is that you must understand that persistence would help you. Persistence. Relentless persistence. Not just giving up. Because life will come at you in ways that will make you question even the call of God on your life. Yes. Persistence. All of us know about the refinery that is a few hundreds of kilometers away from this beautiful church. And I was reading an interview, or watching an interview on CNN with the promoter a few days ago. I was thinking to myself, this is nothing short of persistence. All of us see the beautiful ark that is being built in Otta. I mean, come on, it takes persistence to have any shade of success. Persistence. What else can Chris share with you before he jumps off your stage? Adaptability. How do you adapt? That's the final stage before I leave. For you to be able to adapt, you have to go through what I call constant pruning. You know what gardeners do when they prune? They cut off the unwanted. It's very painful, though. But this world needs adaptability. Why? It's moving at such a pace that if you're not adaptable, you'll be left behind. You will be what? Left behind. Because adaptability will ensure that you leave your comfort zone, but you find yourself ability to move with the time. So my 7-year-old's birthday yesterday, his birthday is 7. He wants a phone. I tried to play it back in my head when I was 7. But I have 2 kids that are able to manipulate technology in a way that marvels me. Because it's the world that we live in. Are you going to run a business Or are you running a business and you're not adaptable to the times? You will become extinct. A few days ago, one of the largest companies in the world took short past Microsoft, short past Meta, short past Apple. NVIDIA is worth $3.11 trillion. And for those who are not interested in stock and all, let me give you a stock tip. Start looking to those directions. People are smiling. This is an AI company that literally has revolutionized the way and approach towards technology. Their chips are found in all the video games, and they're doing so much more. But I sat down and I thought, what about Intel and all those other companies we used to hear of? Adaptability. Times are moving so fast. You cannot use the one you knew yesterday to run tomorrow's agenda. You would fail. So it is important that while I end, like I said, I had to skip through, that for you to be able to have grit, for you to be able to have the values, for you to be adaptable to make it in today's world, it's just the same principles that many of you have heard before. But you know the only difference, many of you have not made it a way of life. Even though I don't call myself an inspirational speaker because I do quite much more than that. But many times, many of you make fun of some of the principles that you hear and think to yourself, it's not a big deal. Guess what? It works. For those who are able to allow it to become a way of life. So Nextgen, young, amazing ladies and gentlemen, the world really is your oyster. And I tell you for free, without an exception, that everything you want out of life, even when you're out of school, can be a reality if only you are willing to pay the price by adopting these principles. Once again, House of Wonders, thank you for having me. Pastor Isaac, thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you so much.
That was amazing and power-packed. A round of applause once more. A round of applause. Thank you so much. I don't know if you have any questions for Mr. Christopher. If there are any questions. So most importantly, actually, while we were all seated, immediately Mr. Christopher started, our resident pastor walked in, along with our senior pastor. So if you don't know our resident pastor is Pastor Ajibola Adeni. We call him PJ for short. So please, sir, just let them see you. You can stand up, sir, just a minute. Let them just see your face, to the right, to the left. Along with our senior pastor, Pastor Isaac, okay. PI, sir. We call him PI. We call him PI for short. So moving on quickly, let me just ask one more time. Are there any questions from anybody? Ushers, do we get any question from anyone? Okay, I mean, it seems we're good. Okay, awesome. So just to tell us more about House of Wonders, but before I do that as well, I mustn't forget to do this. You have a question? Okay, we have one question. Any other person? So what tends to happen is once one person asks, everybody's channel of questions just open up. So we're going to keep it simple. I want to know now, if it's just one person, then we might have to cap it at maybe one extra person, and that's all. Okay, please come forward and ask your question. Tell us your name.
Good afternoon. My name is Motsurayo once again. So my question is for you, ma'am. How do you transition from one career to another? So usually, people always say that you need to take courses, get certified, blah, 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 blah. But is it possible to transition without getting certified, taking courses? Maybe, let's say you want to transition from customer service to HR. Can you get an HR job and then get certified on the job, or why on the job, or do you have to, take certifications? Are there opportunities for people? I don't know if you understand. Is it possible? Is there a possibility that you can switch without necessarily going through that route? Are there people that can take a chance on something like that?
Sounds like a song, but did you get the question, ma? Okay, awesome. Okay, let me just If you don't mind, I like to speak because of the cameras for our online audience. Yeah. A round of applause. Let's appreciate it.
Okay, so when I was speaking to the career exploration earlier, I made mention of a time in your career where you're testing the waters. You have not decided which one you want to go for at that time. So this job has come. You would think through the kinds of skills you have to do that particular job. So another thing I didn't mention is that we must learn to modify our CVs to be suitable to a particular job we are passionate about, even though that's not what we are currently doing. But modify it such that it makes you stand a chance to be invited for that interview. So if you're currently doing customer service there and you want to switch to HR, it would be nice, and if you see an HR officer role advertised, the people management skills, the relationship skills that you exhibited in managing those customers, providing those services, call them out and modify your CVs to meet such. Do you understand? So, relationship management and everything you've done that is aligned with that job description, because there will always be a description of that role when advertised. Now, that is if that switch is going to happen outside your existing organization. You want to move from the organization you are to another one. Should it be that you're considering that switch within your existing organization, speak to your line manager that you have a passion for people management. You are looking at a career switch. You're considering a career switch. Here are your plans. A very good line manager would help you achieve that switch. And then you also need to make some commitments towards achieving that switch. You asked if you really need to do some certifications to make you qualify. Sometimes you need to probably move into it and have that hands-on experience. But to thrive on that role, yes, you need to hone your skills. Because a lot of things are emerging on that role. Before now, it wasn't HR, it was personnel admin or whatever it was called. It's in recent times that it's being called human resource. In fact, there are different designations now. You hear chief people officer, chief culture this, chief HR officer, HR director. So it has transitioned, it has evolved over time. So you need to keep evolving. And like I said, unfortunately, in our country, we are heavily dependent on qualifications. That's the situation we found ourselves. We need to play through, but you need to find out what you're passionate about. Why do you want that switch? Is it because that's the in thing? Do you even know how to go about it? So don't go with the trend. Go with where your passion lies. What is it? What's your calling? What do you want to achieve in that field? That's what you should focus on. I hope I did justice to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you, grateful. Is there any other question? Okay, so we have one here that says, what helps you to put the principles you shared into practice to their lifestyle? Sometimes lessons from meetings like this are so many, you wonder there are so much. I'm wondering if this is for Mr. Chris. I think it sounds like his question. Yes, let me read it again. It says, what helps you to put the principles you shared into practice to their lifestyle? Sometimes lessons from meetings like this are so many, you wonder there are so much. Something like that. I think this is for you.
Repeat, rinse, repeat. Repeat, rinse, repeat. Oftentimes, you're very correct. We have tons of events like this where people are bamboozled by principles. They go back home and they find out. It's the reason why even some organizations too tend to run away from trainers, because they'll tell you that they can't see the tangible results and be able to have metrics to show you that there was real impact. But if you remember what I said at the beginning when I was talking about habits, you see, anytime you see a smoker, the reason why the smoker will always be itching for a smoke or for a fag is because it has been entrenched in his or her subconsciousness. There's a neural pathway is almost like a bridge that has been formed in your brain. It's like going to the gym. The more you do any particular activity, the more your brain is a very lazy organ, very lazy. It likes repetitions. It doesn't like anything out of the norm. So it's the reason why when you wake up in the morning, if you want to test my principle now, you will find out that when you wake up in the morning, you always get out from your bed from the same part of your bed. When you get to the bathroom, you always run the same pattern every day, whether it's to brush your teeth first. When you get into the bathtub, whether it's to pick up the water or your soap, our brains like patterns. And we struggle before those patterns are formed. So if you, for instance, want to be a reader and you say, okay, Mr. Chris said I should broaden my knowledge and I need to start reading a lot. It starts with reading. There's no two way about it. But the more you read, the more it becomes second nature, the more your brain now realizes that have you ever seen somebody who wants to smoke or take on something? You see the way they react, even physically. Mm-hmm. That's exactly the way it is. Your body will react so much to say, unless you give me this thing, I cannot be able to get by. So repeat rates. Continue till it becomes second nature. It's only when it becomes second nature that you end up seeing the results. Is that for me as well?
No, this is not for you.
Okay, just making sure. Thank you.
So this question says, Ma, kindly speak to salary negotiations. How do you state expected salary without overrating yourself and beating beyond the recruitment cost?
It's all about the Benjamin. Where do you work? Okay. So sometimes you might set a target for yourself to say that your next job should be at least a certain percentage, the salary of your next job should be a certain percentage above your current. However, it's necessary to find out the value of that role you're considering in the market today. How much are they paying for those jobs right now? Remember when we did the role play? When Kelvin was asked how much he would like to earn, he gave a range. He said between 200 and 250. Oh, he's gone. Between 200 and 250. And we all murmured, like, does he know what he's saying at all? Is he even considering inflation? You know? And then Chris said 150. And he was considering it. Always know your worth. Don't settle for less. The truth is, even if you say you want, let's say, ₦1 million, and the budget for the role is 600,000, it's okay to say you want ₦1 million. They will come back to you to say, or probably ask you during the session, is it negotiable?
Yeah.
If you say it's negotiable, you already know what your own rock bottom would be in your mind. You might not want to say. But just give a range. If you're not being specific, you can give a range. You already know what it is that, should it be lesser than this, you can't deal. At the same time, you don't want to be desperate, right? You don't want to act like, oh, I really need this job and go for, and they throw 500,000 at you and you jump at it. But always find out. When I shared the